playing, and you'd come home and you'd be tired and exhausted, and it was the springtime. And if you weren't hanging out with your buddies, I'd sit down, like, had showered and sit down and watch the first few hours of the draft, kind of recovering from maybe a game that morning or from a practice. The NBA draft, though, as I was growing up, was a huge deal. I mean, that was the one we got into because you watch the first round, and like you said, it was a fashion thing. It was quicker, obviously, in the NFL draft. You had to be really invested
Man,
early on in our ages to get into the NFL draft. I still feel like you do. Patrick Pratt, we need to get him back on in the next
yes, can't wait.
few weeks here as the countdown is on. But it was interesting. Last night I did flip over and catch some of it. As Preston mentioned, five women selected from the University of South Carolina. Aaliyah Boston being chosen first. She becomes the second Gamecock to be chosen first after Asia Wilson was the first selection of the Las Vegas Aces back in the 2018 draft. Maybe if you want to go down this road and play this game, maybe a little bit of a shock. Letitia Amahir was second off the board, going number 8 to the Atlanta Dream. So she goes before, what are we calling it? Your second favorite
Second favorite game
favorite game
Second
of all.
favorite. The official title is second favorite game. Second favorite person to wear a Gamecock uniform.
There you go.
That's the official title.
It's a wordy title, but yep,
Mhm.
you get it. So Amy here goes off of the board at 8 to the Atlanta Dream. Zaya Cook was not far behind that, going to the Los Angeles Sparks at number 10. Bree Bill would finally hear her name called at 24. She goes back to or she goes closer to home. The Minnesota Lynx is where she will head. And finally, Victoria Saxon was drafted right behind her. She goes to the Indiana Fever. So now three Gamecocks with the Indiana Fever. We talked about that kind of happening yesterday. So 5 off the board last night. Good for all of them. We'll get into a little bit of that. Let you listen to those picks this morning as they occurred. We'll do that. I want to get into a little bit of spring game discussion with Preston coming up on Friday. On Friday, we'll have more of a big breakdown of the spring game. But I kind of want to relive how y'all did the spring game, because the first spring game I ever remember, at the time I didn't know what was going on, I think was the Joe Morrison. I'm sure they did this way before, but the famous steaks versus hot dogs
Oh,
spring game winner. And
oh,
so, like, I want you to go think back to your days. If y'all had draft, I don't remember how Holtz did it,
man.
and there's so many different ways to do these spring games. Shane Beamer has been very good in 2 years about showing us the wide variety of ways to do a spring game. Because that first year, Heath and I were doing the broadcast of it, and it was unique, to say the least. We didn't have rosters. The first hour was a practice. The second hour was a couple plays. It was a unique experience.
Yeah,
Last year was more. This year, though, and I want to get to this more as we go through the week. I think a lot of us want to see the true definition of a game, because it's, yeah, great, Spencer Rattler. You're yesterday's news, Spencer
absolutely,
Rattler,
absolutely.
for a spring game. You're yesterday's news. I think we all want to see these young quarterbacks compete. I want to see Lenore Sellers and Luke. I want to see more of Luke Doty, and I want to see Tanner Bailey and Braden Davis and Colton Gauthier. Yeah, let Spencer Rattler have his series or two. Show me what he looks like in Dow Loggins' offense, but save a lot of that for North Carolina. I want to see these young guys. I want to see if Tanner Bailey's pushing Luke Doty, if Lenore Sellers is who everybody's saying he is, if Braden Davis is the athletic freak that people are talking about, and if Colton Gauthier is the drop back passer. So I want to get into how y'all did your spring games and how you think doing the spring game can dictate a guy making a jump
Absolutely. Yeah,
moving
I can't wait.
moving forward. So we'll get into that a little bit this morning. South Carolina baseball tonight. They will host USC Upstate. We'll kind of give you an update on that, give you an update on the polls, a little bit of Mark Kingston from Speaking with Jay yesterday. So a lot to get to this morning. We've gotten up, gotten going, survived the post-Easter hangover, the post-Masters hangover, as we see kind of the fallout from that. Poor Patrick Cantlay. They finally caught up to him. Of course, when you play that slow, all the anger and he just fit. I mean, yesterday, the best one is the meme, or not the meme. Well, it is a meme now, but of Brooks and John on, I think it was 16, the par three, and they're just staring up at the green. The only person in the picture is some lucky young girl standing behind them with a green Masters hat on, just happy to be there. But Brooks and let's see, Kepka and Rom are just staring And then Kepka saying yesterday that it was so slow, Rahm had the opportunity to go to the bathroom 7 times during the round.
Okay.
So poor Patrick Cantlay just catching every stray yesterday off of the Masters for his slow play. So we'll talk a little bit. We'll kind of finish up the Masters, look ahead to the RBC Heritage. Considered one of the elevated events now. So you have the big field, Rory McIlroy pulling out yesterday, but still a big field down in Hilton Head this week, $20 million purse. I believe I read this correctly yesterday, $2 million more than the Masters.
Wow.
Masters was
so
18.
Not a major, but one
This
of
is
the
one of the
tournaments.
one of the new elevated events the PGA is having to continue to bring the best, the bigger, the best, however you want to phrase it, golfers in. So we'll get into that as it's RBC Heritage. Our state takes center spotlight there on the PGA Tour with the RBC Heritage. We'll do that. JC Shurburtt due up at 7 o'clock this morning. We weren't able to locate a Comrex, and
Oh, shucks.
yeah. So Tony Ann and politely declined. So we'll have to hold that one out for a little bit later because he goes under the knife coming up next week to repair some knee stuff from the old former player syndrome. Preston, you've got a back issue that you've dealt with last week.
Coming for us all.
We'll have to let you and Tony, when the next time we see him, commiserate on the former player injury syndrome when you get to your 40s. 803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game. Okay. Well, that was a lesson in how quickly I can get down here.
The NBA playoffs are here, and you can turn crossovers into cash with FanDuel. Just visit FanDuel.com/win right now and place a $5 bet.
Well, it's just day one, Robin, but the kids seemed to do okay yesterday. But it was only day one.
Back day one. Day one back.
Day one back. Yeah, my kids were out last week.
All charitable donations.
At Magda's Tax Prep, every person
I'd
counts.
rather not have to file for an extension.
She needs new auditors to maximize returns on her family time.
On itemized deductions. Hey, can someone help with these 1099s?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Like any good agent, we're here for the open house, for the closing, for handing over keys. But because we're realtors, we're here for so much more. Agents who are realtors volunteer at nearly 3 times the national average. We're working to broaden access to credit, increase affordable housing supply, and ensure fair housing for all. And realtors are bound by a code of ethics. We're here for it all. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
That's the sound of the doorbuster pricing event going on now at Galliana Kia on Greystone. Galliana Kia on Greystone is making deals so good, they're breaking down the doors. 2023 Kia Forte LXS, lease for just $199 per month. 2023 Kia Sorento LX, lease for just $299 per month. Upgrade to a new Kia today. We'll get you out of your current loan or lease, even if you're over mileage, have months left, or still owe thousands. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. If you got a job and you make at least $2,000 per month, our lenders can get you approved. Don't miss these doorbuster deals. New Kias for $199 per month.
Gotta go to Galliana.
The sooner you come, the more you save at Galliana Kia on Greystone. I-126 Zoo exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or KiaColumbia.com. Sorrento stock number K3699. Forte stock number 3K1548. 24-month leases, 10,000 miles per year. $39.99 due at signing plus tax tag includes $225 closing fee. No security deposit. Negative trade equity financed in new loan subject to lender approval. Expires month end.
Hey, I'm Jenny Sturm. I'm with Sturmy Plumbing. Call my dad if you have any slow drains, clogged drains, leaky pipes, runny toilets, runny sinks, or no hot water. Call Sturmy Plumbing for all of your service and repair needs. 803-201-2689. At Sturmy Plumbing, where we make your gray skies blue.
Hey, this is Brian with Stormy Plumbing. Give us a call at 803-201-2689. Again, the number is 803-201-2689. We look forward to hearing from you.
Hi, this is Robbie Butt, president of the Columbia Executives and Owners Association, inviting you to check us out at ceoa.org. The CEOA is your business accelerator. 100 plus members of the business community here in the capital city, referring, building, buying, and working with one another each week to generate millions of dollars in business revenue. The CEOA is business networking to the 10th power. Check us out at ceoa.org.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Hey everyone, early on here in the day, it's time for a First Alert traffic update. As we're pushing on forward and taking a live check at our traffic map, haven't seen anything problematic as of the humble beginnings of today for your Tuesday. We are going to be, of course, continuing to check on that for you. Make sure as you listen along, you are listening up for anything that could be impactful to your travels today. This has been a WIS First Alert traffic update. I'm WIS meteorologist Tony Schiavaroli.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
with Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen
on your home of the Gamecocks.
1075 The Game.
Come on.
803-404-6100 is how you can join us if you want to this morning as we discuss several different topics, and we'll get to a little bit of spring football. We will get back as Preston brought up some NFL news, and then again the draft not far away at all. So we've got a lot there for us to get to. Something I forgot. We should give some love here. Something I totally forgot. Totally my fault. And take full blame for this. South Carolina over the weekend collected another national championship. Are you aware of this?
I am sort of aware of it. I think I saw it on the periphery.
On the periphery?
The periphery of my Twitter feed. So it kind of was around, but I didn't necessarily see it. Are we talking about the dance squad?
Third straight national championship.
Domination.
the Carolina Girls Dance Squad, good buddy of mine, his daughter, Chris Staten, and Chris and Laura, great people. Their daughter, Emmy, is a dancer for the South Carolina dance team, the Carolina Girls. And so if you see Chris today, he did nothing, but you can high five him. He did absolutely nothing at all. But his daughter, Emmy Staten, and the rest of the South Carolina girls dance team, third straight national championship, 2021, 2022, and 2023. So, yeah, you talk about a weekend that, or several few days for South Carolina has been pretty good. You go 1-1 there with LSU in baseball. You have 5 women drafted in the WNBA draft last night, and over the weekend, the South Carolina dance team wins their third straight national championship.
Bill, I have an addendum to that. You say he did nothing, but if she's on the dance team now,
he did something.
That means she was on the dance team then. And I'm sure he had to sit through a lot of dance competitions and recitals. Practices. So,
I don't know. I know Chris pretty well. I got a feeling he sent his wife.
You think
more
okay, all right, okay.
He's a great guy. I thoroughly appreciate him.
Right.
And
I'm just saying that if you're a dance dad, that's much kudos to you.
We were heading down that path with Ansley. She switched and has gone to cheer. And she cheers out at Gilbert Middle School now. But that kudos to those women there for the South Carolina dance team. Again, I'll admit until Chris told me over the weekend, and I meant to bring this up yesterday. That's impressive, a third straight national championship. So good for those young women.
Yeah, that's a tough competition. So that's a talented bunch.
Yeah, so really good for them, and congratulations to them. So a really good weekend for South Carolina women's basketball with the WNBA last night, and a great weekend for the South Carolina dance team, the Carolina Girls, as they claim a third straight national championship there for them. 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in this morning. Spring game coming up this weekend, Preston. We'll spend more time on this as we go through the week, but I do ask you, do you remember how y'all did the drafts or how y'all did particular things for the spring game?
We did it a couple different ways. I think every coach can never decide what actually they want to do. We did sort of a 1s versus 2s spring game where they gave the 1s a substantial lead to see if they could hold it against. I mean, they gave the 2s a substantial lead to see if they could hold it against the 1s. That year I was on the 2s team. It was not very fun because we did not compete. It was not close. I think it gave us like a 21-point lead, and the score ended up being like something to 21.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't great. We've done drafts. That's always a cool thing to do, drafts, because you get a little trash talk going back and forth between the Garnet team and the black team, or however you want to.
Now, when you did the drafts, is it just like 2 or 3 captains in there? Or is it the whole team and you've got to do that like embarrassing 4th grade dodgeball thing where you're standing there and you're like, just don't pick me last.
We never did that, which would have been awesome. We never did that. When they did drafts, they did sort of like I think they did a coaches draft where maybe it was Charlie Strong and Skip Holtz were the coaches, and we found out which team we were on. That way we didn't go through the draft process. So as I'm older now, I wonder if it was an actual draft or if they just sort of divvied up the teams in a way that it would be competitive. Kind of curious on that. But there's all kinds of ways to get these teams split up.
What would you like to see in this scenario, having been through multiple of these spring games? Like, what do you think benefits the most? Just having a quarter of 1s versus 1s, a quarter of 2s versus 2s, and then a mixture of kind of all your backups in the 3rd and 4th quarter?
Yeah, I would like to see a good amount of 1s versus 1s, especially if you're a team that has a lot of questions that need to be answered. And also the fans would like to see your best on your best. So I don't know whether you do it for a quarter, you do it, maybe you can do it for a couple of specific situational type of things. Because I do like playing around with the format of a spring game. I do like that. I think there's some opportunity to make it more interesting for everybody involved as opposed to sort of a scrimmage which can get a little bit stale after a while. So I would prefer to see the 1s versus 1s in some specific situations.
803-404-6100. We'll continue talking about that and get into maybe some memories of Preston Thorne spring games. Might be the memories of the post-spring game celebration that probably are more for the After Dark podcast. might be more entertaining, but we'll get into that. If you want to weigh in on the spring game, it is something this weekend. It'll be the night game again at Williams-Brice Stadium, a chance for South Carolina fans to get out and do a little tailgating. I'll get you all the details on that coming up here as we go through the morning. We'll get into some baseball and some women's basketball as well. Plus, Preston and I both want to get into some NFL. And yesterday, Odell Beckham Jr., or I should say Sunday, Odell Beckham Jr. making an announcement on where he's going. I want to know if Preston thinks if that'll be enough to keep Lamar Jackson around. We'll get into that.
I'm intrigued.
We'll get into that. 803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
107.5 The Game on demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner.
On the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Tell you what, the weather kind of all over the place. And right now, AAA Heating and Air is ready just to make sure that you're taken care of. If you've had your heating and air units been a little on the fritz lately, or maybe you're just worried about the famously hot Columbia summer, don't be. Call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-480. That's our phone number, 803-677-1500. If you've been debating whether you should replace your old HVAC unit, what if you could get up to $5,300 off the cost for a new unit today? I bet that right there would get your attention. Call AAA Heating and Air, 803-677-1500. You can get a free estimate to see what the AAA Heating and Air team can do for you. AAA Heating and Air, they have comfort advisors that can inform you about the current Inflation Reduction Act, which offers tax credits of up to $3,800. And once you add that to the $1,500 buyback, you've got $5,300 in savings right there with AAA Heating and Air. On top of all that, there's a 15-year parts and labor warranty, great financing. This is an opportunity you absolutely cannot find anywhere else in the Midlands. So call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. Schedule to get your free estimate. Again, that's 803-677-1500. Call AAA Heating and Air today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
When you think about spring, good stuff springs to mind. You know, like spring break. Woohoo! A friend springing for drinks.
Thanks, dude.
A spring in your step. Spring fever.
Oh, behave.
And best of all, spring water dough pizza from the Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers.
Yeah, baby!
Experience the taste of spring with our amazing hand-tossed pies, spring fresh salads, and over 100 beers from around the world. Enjoy spring at the Mellow Mushroom in the Vista and on Sunset in Lexington.
I'm Bridget Condon with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The addition of Odell Beckham Jr. could also be a sign that Lamar Jackson's future is in Baltimore, despite his recent public trade request. NFL Network insiders Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero report Jackson helped recruit the free agent receiver to the Ravens with the understanding that he'd be the one throwing passes to OBJ in 2023. Speaking of throwing passes, it's going to be a busy week for some of the top quarterback prospects in the draft, especially in Carolina, where the Panthers are visiting with two quarterbacks in play for their first overall pick. Carolina hosted Florida's Anthony Richardson Monday and will meet with Alabama quarterback Bryce Young today. Kentucky quarterback Will Levis had a private workout with the Colts last week and will spend today meeting with their AFC South rival Titans. And University of Tennessee quarterback Hendon Hooker is meeting with the Lions today. He also has an upcoming meeting planned with the Raiders. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
From local town councils to Capitol Hill, agents who are realtors are standing up for what's right. We're here protecting property rights, here advocating for the issues that affect our neighborhoods, here championing fair and equitable housing for all. Because we are realtors, bound by a code of ethics, driven to serve our communities. We're here for it all, here for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
SpringFest savings is here at Lowe's. Don't miss out on the best deals of the season, like 3 free bags of Miracle-Gro garden soil when you buy 3. Plus, save on other items like select laundry pairs. Get an additional $100 off select laundry pairs when you spend $1,296 or more. Head to your local Lowe's or visit Lowe's.com to shop SpringFest savings today. Valid through 4/12. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
All American Heating and Air's proud owners, Gene and Debbie Royer.
Oh, there's many companies that don't do background checks. It's sad to say.
A background check is performed on every employee that works for All American.
We want to make sure that we're sending a safe person into your home and you can feel safe.
Trust All American's family to help your family.
Check my prices, check their prices, check my word to their word.
We're a good first opinion or second opinion.
When you need us, we're there. All American Heating and Air.
AllAmericanHeatingandAir.com.
Yes, we're stranded off the Main Street exit northbound. How fast can you be here?
I just want to check under the hood while we wait.
Hold on just a sec. Honey, it's dark out. I don't think it's a good idea to get out.
I'm sure it'll take them a while.
They're here?
Wow.
We're not that fast, but we're pretty close. When you're in a pickle because you drive a lemon, call Schroeder's Towing. Don't be left on the side of the road distressed. That's Schroeder's Towing with over 1,200 Google reviews. Call now at 772-7930.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Hey everyone, early on here in the day, it's time for a First Alert traffic update. As we're pushing on forward and taking a live check at our traffic map, haven't seen anything problematic as of the humble beginnings of today for your Tuesday. We are going to be, of course, continuing to check on that for you. Make sure as you listen along, you are listening up for anything that could be impactful to your travels today. This has been a WIS First Alert traffic update. I'm WIS meteorologist Tony Schiavaroli.
What we're talking about on 1075 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
.35 on your Tuesday morning. Some of you having to get back up and getting into the rhythm of going back to school after spring break. Some of you having to enjoy, having a rough morning of it. You're enjoying the kids being on spring break. Preston, you remember those days where you were a teacher? What was the second day of spring break like? Were you completely invested? Were you all in, or were you still having to warm up to it?
Oh no, you're all in.
You're all in at this point?
Yeah. Because spring break for a teacher starts on Friday.
Okay.
Before. So you start on Friday before. There may or may not be a happy hour with co-workers to celebrate the commencement of spring break. By Monday or Tuesday, you are 100% settled in. You're here for it. Yeah.
Now, back then, you didn't have a little one, so it was spring break was truly spring break.
Absolutely.
You were free to maneuver the country. You were able to go wherever you wanted.
Good times.
Okay, a little bit different nowadays.
Yeah.
Of course, I call you a teacher back then. You still teach.
Yeah.
But it's not the same.
A little bit different.
No such thing as spring break around here.
For sure. I mean, we're still working, but as I've told my students, I tell everybody, you don't know the value of a Friday until you've taught. You thought you loved Fridays as a student, but man, as a teacher, Friday can't come fast enough.
Being able to show up in the jeans and
man,
just the relaxed nature.
A lot of testing. You got to set your week up for success, Bill. Got to set it up for success.
So hopefully, everybody, if you're having a spring break, hopefully enjoying it. If you were on spring break, welcome back. Welcome back. 803-404-6100. Some NFL news. The Baltimore Ravens on Sunday doing whatever they can to convince Lamar Jackson, hey, you should sign and play here. 1 year, 15. I'm going to say $15 million because that's what's guaranteed. It's an $18 million contract, but again, a $3 million separation of what's going to be guaranteed and what could be paid out. But they signed Odell Beckham Jr. to try and convince Lamar Jackson, Baltimore's neat. We like it here. We like you. We're not angry with you. Odell Beckham Jr. is 30. He'll be 31 in November. I don't feel like his career is over, but I'm not sure if this is the kind of like if you'd have gone out. There's a lot of rumors that DeAndre Hopkins is not satisfied. There's Devontae Adams, who I think is not sure the new direction of the Raiders. There are other wide receivers out there. Does Odell Beckham Jr. still push the needle for a quarterback, you think?
No. I think his name is more important than his actual production on the field. He's still a quality receiver, but more so as another one of your receiving core. He's not a number one guy to this point. Just when you say that fact, he's 30 years old, which already puts him as an elder statesman in the NFL, coming off of an injury, coming off of not playing. There's a lot of factors that would say, this is fine. It's a well-known pick. It's a highlighted pick. It's somebody that brings a lot of attention. But as far as becoming a number one or really dramatically improving your receiving core, I don't know.
Yeah, in 2020, he played in 7 games and had 23 receptions. 2021 is when he started in Cleveland before being traded to the Rams for that Super Bowl push. And that season, he played 14 games and had 44 receptions. So, and as you just pointed out, did not play at all last year. So if you go back over the last 3 years, just 21 games that he's played in and just 67 total receptions. That's again over the last 3 years. There's no doubt when this guy was, see, I hate to say this like I'm going to say it, but I think it's true, and you can reach across and slap me if it's not, but because he's 30.
Wait, what? What?
That's why I never say it to you, because you would go out of your way to get out of the producer studio, get in here during the segment and slap me. So I never give you that option to slap me if what I'm about to say is wrong. But he's past his prime. He's not only past his prime, he's really, it feels like on the decline. And I don't know if this is enough for Lamar Jackson to say, oh, I'm now, oh, Baltimore, thank you for doing this for me. I'll hang around.
Yeah, I think you're right. You're dead on both points. He's past his prime, as any 30-year-old in the NFL would be, especially a position player, not somebody who's a quarterback who's well protected. Any position player at 30, you're reaching. And then also his production has declined. Now, obviously, he's a tremendous athlete, so I wouldn't put it past him. And he has a tremendous work ethic, all of those great things. I wouldn't put it past him to be ready and to be able to perform, but I just don't see him being that the number one receiver. Now, that being said, it's kind of shame that he is a big deal for Baltimore because they don't have anything else as a receiving core. So it's a good pickup. It's a solid pickup for the Ravens. I don't think that is statistically as good as marquee as the name is, but it's a cool move. But I don't know. What I wonder though, Bill, is OBJ gonna get to the Baltimore? You know, like somebody tells you they're coming to a party, you expect them to be there. Like, hey, Bill, we're gonna go out to the bar later, and you're like, all right, man, I'll meet you there. And then Bill, you show up, and it's like, hey, Preston, where are you? And you're like, oh yeah, I'll be there. I'm on the way.
He's not. See, we're talking about this, about how big of a pickup it is, but we agree he's not a Hall of Fame wide receiver, right?
No, not close. His name is bigger than his actual production, and that's really no fault to him. That's not his fault.
His antics, punching the net, being attacked by the net.
Yes, early in his career, his antics for sure. And then well, to be fair, he was in Cleveland. His quarterback was Baker Mayfield. I'll be very fair about that.
You missed the portion of this show years ago where we jumped on the Baker Mayfield Cleveland bandwagon. We were all about the bakery.
Yeah.
We were all in. We were Patrick Pratt and I were full-on Browns fans. We almost actually went to, I think, a Wings and Ale one night because I had it wrong. I thought, like, I think there was a particular beverage company that had it set up where, like, if the Browns got to 6 wins or 7 wins, whatever it was, something they had not accomplished in years, that this cooler of beer would unlock and you'd be able to get free beers. Turns out that was only in Cleveland, which made perfect sense, not here in Columbia, South Carolina.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we were all in on that. So tread lightly on,
All right.
on the Mayfield.
Well, let me start off with this. I do think Baker Mayfield had the best commercial campaign of any NFL player in the past 10 years. I'll give you that.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Now, as far as quarterbacking, a lot left to be desired. And that was Odell's guy. So before that, he kind of played with the aging Eli. So there, you can spin it out if you want, but the facts are, based on his number, based on his production, he's not even close to being a Hall of Fame guy. He's well known for the catch that he made, and he's sort of he's an interesting dude. He doesn't even talk very much, which is weird now. So for some odd reason, he sort of became polarizing when he was sort of doing dumb things like punching the net or kicking the net on the sidelines. But other than that, if he was just to line up his numbers, take away his name, you would just he's just another NFL receiver.
He's 137th career-wise in yards, in receiving yards total, 137th. I mean, he's behind guys like Ed McCaffrey. Dez Bryant's the shocking one on that list that's not higher up. Like what we think of Dez Bryant, but Dez Bryant's not that high. I mean, you got guys like Jarvis Landry, Robert Woods, Randall Cobb, all higher than him. The production from Odell Beckham Jr., and this is why I kind of brought it up about how good is he. The production in his first 3 years was absolutely unreal. I mean, that's what it was. His first 3 years, he's got 56 career touchdowns. In his first 3 years, he had 35 of those.
Wow.
He's got 531 career receptions. He had quick math on the 288 receptions out of 531 in his first 3 years. So you see the numbers there kind of all are skewed to his first 3 years in the league, and then there's been a dramatic drop-off, an injury, some of it, quarterback play, some of it. You mentioned the Baker Mayfield thing. So it's interesting. Because Lamar Jackson, I think, is the storyline going up to, I think maybe, and we were going to get into this, and we'll get into it lightly just in the next segment, the Aaron Rodgers situation, which Aaron's basically saying, I'm playing in New York next year, and Green Bay's going, we're okay with that. But we're going to get the best we can. We're not just going to hand you over to the Jets. So
can't believe that's not done yet. It's ridiculous.
There's a reason. 803-404-6100. We'll continue on. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Got a take?
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
803-404-6100.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Express Employment Professionals. Stop going it alone for recruiting and staffing. Choose a local expert. Hiring is about getting to know people, not algorithms. So let the team at Express Employment Professionals hire for you. Visit expresspros.com to find the office near you.
Sponsored by South Carolina Education Lottery. The Mega Millions jackpot for Tuesday is $441 million. Be sure to stop by your local South Carolina Education Lottery retailer and get your ticket today. See SCEducationLottery.com for jackpot odds and a store near you.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's $7,500 sign-on bonuses, increased pay, and great employee benefits available. Start your new year off with a new career. Visit joinscdc.com to apply today or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
Tens of thousands affected by the toxic water at Camp Lejeune are left with death, cancer, dementia, birth defects, and other serious illnesses. And along with the harm, so many worries. Call James Harris Law, the experienced, trusted law firm that can get you significant compensation while protecting all your VA benefits. Call our Camp Lejeune legal helpline now. Call 800-396-3737. 800-396-3737.
Bassmaster is coming to Lake Murray. Come watch the Elite Series Pros and check out the Outdoors Expo, including food trucks, booths, and interactive exhibits. Plus, enjoy live music on Saturday from Christian Bush of Sugarland.
It's already yours.
It'll be fun for the whole family. Save your money on the state park parking fee and take the free shuttle. Be at the Marathon Bassmaster Elite at Lake Murray, April 20th through the 23rd at Dreer Island State Park, and catch the fun. Details at bassmaster.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
We get tested regularly to know our STD status. Most people have no symptoms in the early stages of infection. Early diagnosis can link you to services that will help you stay healthy longer, reduce costly hospital visits, and prevent transmission to others. Free testing day is April 13th. Call the HIV STD hotline at 1-800-322-AIDS, 1-800-322-2437, or visit scdhec.gov/STD-HIV.
Hello, this is Adam Vance with Sound and Images. I'm a proud member of the CEOA, Columbia Executive and Owners Association. It's a group that is made up of many different individuals from different backgrounds, male, female, different ethnicities, all with the common goal of being successful, giving back to the community, and supporting each other's businesses. This upcoming Wednesday, 6 to 9 a.m. on 107.5 The Game, live from the Capital City Club at our weekly meeting. We'd love for you to look into the CEOA and become a possible member. Thank you.
Get the right care at the right place. Visit Lexington Medical Center's convenient urgent care centers for minor illnesses and injuries, and use our emergency room for emergencies. Go to lexmed.com/care now to know where to go for the care you need now.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey everyone, early on here in the day, it's time for a First Alert traffic update. As we're pushing on forward and taking a live check at our traffic map, haven't seen anything problematic as of the humble beginnings of today for your Tuesday. We are going to be, of course, continuing to check on that for you. Make sure as you listen along, you are listening up for anything that could be impactful to your travels today. This has been a WIS First Alert traffic update. I'm WIS meteorologist Tony Schiavaroli.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Shen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Tomorrow morning, myself and Preston Thorne will broadcast live from the Capital City Club, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. It'll be sponsored by the Columbia Executive and Owners Association. Throughout the morning, we'll be talking to members of the association, share how you might be able to get involved in Columbia's premier business association. Most importantly, we'll get breakfast. So it might be a lot of other people just talking, and Preston and I just enjoying some bacon and eggs and biscuits and grits and all the delicious items that come with a lovely, lovely breakfast at the Capital City Club.
Listen, Don't pull my arm, Bill. I'll be there.
This is one of the perks.
Mm-hmm.
You got it a couple weeks ago when we went out to Rock Lucas's, and this is one of the perks of doing the morning show. When we get on the road, generally, trust me, there's a breakfast involved.
Mm-hmm. We had good sausage biscuits last time, good breakfast biscuits last time. So I'm ready to go, Bill.
So we will be at the Capital City Club tomorrow, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. With the Columbia Executive and Owners Association broadcasting live from there. 803-404-6100. Interesting, just you kind of brought it up. We got just a few minutes left. JC Shurburtt coming up in the next hour. We'll get more back into the spring game and last night's WNBA draft. But you are right. The Aaron Rodgers situation, I'm assuming it's going to happen. It's just that seems like the Packers are ready to move on. Aaron Rodgers is definitely ready to move on. New York is ready to accept him. The media there has already got plenty of pencil sharpeners and new ink for their pens to put him down. It is going to be interesting to see how long this takes.
It's taken this long already. Like, how long can it take? It can take all. When is there a deadline? Is there a cutoff? Does something have to happen by a draft night? What are we doing? I'm assuming Aaron stepped out of line by even declaring that he wanted this to happen, right? Because all of this negotiating in public probably should have never happened, I'm assuming, right?
Right.
So he put everybody in a very tough spot. He put the team that he's going to in a tough spot. He put the Packers in a tough spot. And now they have to make a deal knowing what the other side's intentions are. So, yeah, the Packers they're not under any obligation to make this easy for the Jets. That's not what their job is.
It's a lot of people believe the deal will be worked out over the next 17 days before April 28th.
17 days.
I mean, but like you said, Green Bay can kind of hold.
It's not their responsibility.
Well, we're assuming that it's New York Jets or bust for Aaron Rodgers. That he can just decide that he would just decide to retire. That if Green Bay says, you know what, we never got what we wanted. We didn't get the draft picks. We didn't get the player. We didn't get what we were looking for. What would be hilarious if they somehow were able to price Garrett Wilson away from the Jets, which would have been like one of the best receivers that that Aaron Rodgers could have worked with. But then you take away one of his go-to receivers in New York. But it's going to be interesting to just see how far Green Bay's willing to push this to upgrade their roster, which this is going to now completely start them all over.
Yeah,
Aaron
Rodgers put them in a spot where they can ask for more because the Jets will look like fools if they don't get this done. Think about all the Jets fans who were just rejoicing a month ago about how we finally did it right. Now, if this would be the most Jets thing of all time to have a player say that he wants to come play for you, and then you can't get the deal done, or you refuse to get the deal done. So they're in a very tough position. If I was the Packers, I would try to maximize my leverage at this moment.
Well, that's honestly what you're seeing. That's what you're seeing is that the Packers they're going to say it's how
they should make it hurt.
How stern are the Jets going to be on this? Where is the Jets' pushback point on it? But you talk about two quarterbacks in the league. I'll ask you, if you're trying to win next year, not long term, because I would go Lamar Jackson, the younger, bigger upside at this point in their career. If you're trying to win next year and you're the Jets, who do you want, Lamar or Aaron Rodgers? Just next year.
I mean, yeah, you would take Aaron Rodgers. I think if you have some pieces in place.
Okay.
I question him as a locker room leader. I question him on my team. I would wonder how that works.
Well, that's the other thing about it being just 1 year, because you feel like he can not freak everybody out with the weird things he does in 1 year. Like maybe by the time the second year is starting, they're like, oh man, we got a real oddball here in our locker room. Oh, all right, yeah, sure. Whereas I do feel like Lamar would be a better fit in the locker room.
I think Lamar would just fit in 5. So.
Hour 2 is on the way. JC Shurburtt will join us. We'll get back into the spring game, how you schedule it and who it can benefit. We'll also talk about last night's WNBA draft. A lot to get to this morning. It's the early game. 107.5 The Game.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Gamecock quarterback Spencer Rattler, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game, the home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
Hey, this is Ray. and Mary Ann with Absolute Glass.
And we're happy to have been voted Lexington's best glass store for 13 years in a row.
Many drivers are unaware that your cracked windshields can be replaced, usually at absolutely no cost to you.
If all the high-end car dealerships in town can trust us to do their glass needs, so can you.
We service the Midlands both at our shop in Lexington, but we are also happy to come to you at home or work.
Find us online at absoluteglassinc.com. And remember, if you can see through it, we can do it.
Family is comfort. It's care. It's a safe place. It seems when you need help, you can always count on family. At Broom Heating, Air, and Electrical, they are a family you can depend on and have been for 53 years. Heating and air is their passion. Customer service is their pleasure. And when Broom Heating, Air, and Electrical are in your home, your family is theirs. For an appointment, call 803-754-9409 or visit their website at broomheating.com.
Hey, y'all, Jay Phillips here from my good friends at Dan's Fan City in Harbison. Ceiling fans don't sound like something you think about a lot because you don't really need to, but when you've got good ones, they work so well, keeping energy costs down and your comfort level up. All kinds of fans at Dan's Fan City, big to small and quiet. Quality fans. They have accessories and light kits, fan blades, and more. Stop by and see them soon. Harbison Boulevard next to Total Wine, or call Dan's Fan City 781-FANS. You'll be glad you did.
Waper Incorporated has been providing great service and top-of-the-line equipment for Columbia's janitorial needs for 50 years. Skip Skipper and Jay Coleman at Waper Incorporated offer unbeatable pre-sale and post-sale service for their equipment to achieve the highest level of customer satisfaction in the Midlands. Waper provides in-service equipment training, installation of proportioning systems and hand care systems, along with a full array of janitorial products, offering next or same-day delivery to the greater Columbia area. Let Waper serve you. Call 803-600-3757 or waperincsc.com.
At Kroger, shopping with pickup and delivery is the same as shopping in-store. Same low prices, deals, and rewards on the same high-quality items. With one small click for groceries, one big win for busy families everywhere. Start your cart today at Kroger.com. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Save big on your favorites with the Buy 5 or More, Save $1 each sale. Simply buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Just how does a car repair shop last in business for over 50 years like Summit Automotive? By providing affordable, reliable, and honest auto repair. But if you ask them, they'll tell you it's their loyal customers who come back time and time again to entrust them with their car repairs. Well-trained technicians, service packages, and monthly specials. Isn't it time you became a customer? Give them a call or come by at 1410 North Millwood Avenue or make an appointment at SunnyAuto.com.
What's up, Gamecock Nation? This is Spencer Rattler, here to tell you about the best South Carolina coverage out there at GamecockCentral.com. For a limited time, you can become a member and get access to all USC sports and recruiting information you want for a special deal. Head over to GamecockCentral.com now to become an insider and join the family.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by the power of Love Chevrolet. While the other dealers are scrambling for slick new catchphrases, we're doubling down on who we are and what we do. Honesty, transparency, and utmost integrity. Love Chevy. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game.
With Bill Gunter.
And I thought I might get a rose for picking Kyle Busch to win NASCAR and picking a winner correctly. And
Jen Jensen.
Now, keep in mind, Preston, if when we pick a winner, he won't recommend that we get a rose. So just so you know that. This is all about him.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
Surprise, Bill is all about Bill.
Yep.
On your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
.02 on a Tuesday morning. Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen coming up in just a second. We'll catch up with JC Shurburtt from thebigspur.com as we get you ready for the South Carolina Garnet and Black spring game this coming Saturday night, 7 o'clock. Let's get you a couple details here if you're listening and planning on heading down. Gamecock Park will open at 2:30. Parking is free. First come, first serve. Once Gamecock Park fills up, fans can park in the Woodstock lot, which is behind the football indoor facility, or the Key Road lot. So again, if you want to get down there, game is scheduled for 7 o'clock. If you want to get down there and do some serious tailgating,
You've just been missing it. You haven't tailgated at Williams-Brice since November, what was it, 19th, I think? Is that right? Am I thinking back when South Carolina put a whipping on Tennessee?
Oh, man, it was tremendous.
Just smushed the Tennessee team all over the field, and you want to pick up right where you left off. Maybe you went up to Clemson the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and you tailgated into the night when I'm sure, just in case Clemson fans have forgotten, it was 31-30, South Carolina won. Just a reminder if anybody has forgotten, it was 31-30, South Carolina won. Gamecocks are your state champions. If you want to get out there and tailgate, 2:30 is when Gamecock Park will open, free and first come, first serve. Gamecock Village will be open at 3 o'clock with the spring game concert featuring Patrick Davis and his midnight choir beginning at 3:30. There will be food available for purchase. Some food trucks will be out there. You'll be able to pick up your 2023 football poster as well. There'll be some inflatable games, a whole bunch of really fun things going on. Should be a fantastic day out at Williams-Brice Stadium. Again, the game set for 7 o'clock on Saturday night. I know the Gamecocks set to have some really big recruits in town. Among them, expected to be here, is the number one player in the country, Dylan Stewart, a 6'5", 230-pound defensive end edge rusher. I believe it's Own 3 Sports who has him as the number one player in the country now. He is a consensus, though, top 15, top 20 player. I think he's number 13 on 24/7 Sports. Again, 6'5", 235 pounds. Did line up an official visit for South Carolina for late June. He's got officials set to South Carolina, Georgia, and Ohio State, but he is expected on campus this coming weekend for an unofficial to hang out and check things out. So some big things there going for South Carolina. So if you want to get out, 2:30 is when the gates open at Gamecock Park to get out and start tailgating. 803-404-6100. How you can weigh in. They're joining us now, as he does each and every week. And I know he's fired up because spring game is this weekend. Also, he's got a big event coming up with Carolina Rise here in the Midlands at the end of the month. JC Shurburtt. And JC, let's just start you with that. Dylan Stewart on campus. Your thoughts, or maybe what you're hearing right now as to where South Carolina is, where his recruitment is at.
Well, Dylan's obviously got offers from everybody in the country. I honestly, Bill, I think if you had to name a top 4 for the kid right now, probably Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, and the Gamecocks. So, one of these things obviously is not like the other, but we've seen this staff win recruiting battles before, time and time again. Don't ever count them out. And I think that based on the feedback the staff has received thus far, South Carolina's got a fighting chance. There's different levels of chances. There's a puncher's chance, but then there's a fighting chance. In other words, puncher's chance is total long shot, but hey, you're going to shoot your shot and see what happens. Fighting chance is they're going to be in it, and they're a legit contender to land him. Carolina's got a ton of momentum up in that part of the world there, up in D.C. and Maryland, and he's certainly a great player that they've worked really hard to build a relationship with thus far, Sterling Lucas and the rest of the staff. So, I think his parents like what Carolina has to say, his mom especially, and this spring game weekend is going to be a big chance to, make an impression. And then, obviously coming back to the official, I think the date of that official is probably pretty good because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's going elsewhere before Columbia. I think Columbia is his last one. So, it's a chance to remind him, I guess, that, hey, there's a lot of bells and whistles everywhere. But, this is, what do I have to say? Home. This is home. So, I think the Gamecocks have a good shot right now. Obviously, with a player that has these types of options, you never know. But it's been so far so good as far as the Gamecocks are concerned, and obviously getting him in on Saturday I think is huge.
Though you mentioned one is not like the other. Yes, Ohio State, not a Southern school like the other three you mentioned.
Somebody's not in the SEC.
Yes, yeah. Also, good point. Good point. 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in on that. Just kind of looking, there is a announcement coming on Friday. Is Josiah Thompson's nickname Big Cat? Have I missed that, or are we just making that up now as we go along? Are we allowing the internet to make up nicknames for prospects?
No, I think it is, but I don't ever use nicknames unless it's like official. Juice is easier to say than Antoine, I guess, although both are pretty cool names. But, if it's on the broadcast and they're calling him Juice, I'm usually going to do it. But, like, there was an issue with Dakarian Joyner where people were calling him Dak, and he doesn't go by Dak. He's DK or he's Dakarian. And I just think people just assume, Dak Prescott or whatever. So, I try to steer clear of the nicknames, but I know that when you look at what I call the offensive line recruiting staff, they're always tweeting pictures of lions and tigers and no bears, but oh my. But it's whenever they're kind of hinting around about him. So, I cannot confirm nor deny that's who they're talking about. But, I think it's pretty safe to say. But, I'm not going to call him Big Cat. He's Josiah until, like I said, Sean McDonough or somebody says it, then I'll feel better doing it. I don't know these guys, they're not my friends. I'm sure they would be if I met them, but I think it's just kind of, I don't know them. Why would I call them by their nickname? The ones I do know, I'll gladly do it. But I just think that, that's just a pet peeve of mine. I don't know. You open a can of worms.
Yeah, I was going to say, Preston, real quick, was there like a nickname that was just overused on the football team for Big Daddy, or it does seem like there's a couple people who just get the same nickname. Big Cat is kind of one of those, because I'm thinking there was was it Big Cat? What was the Auburn defensive lineman that transferred to Central Florida?
His official name was Big Cat.
It's funny you're having this conversation because there's a contingent of folks in Summerville who would still call me Big Cat to this day. To this day, if I went to Summerville, there's several folks who,
Big Cat Thorne.
I did not choose that nickname. It was 7th grade JV baseball, and my coach said, "You look like a big cat," and then it stuck. And so,
who's Big Cat? Who was Big Cat?
The original was Andres Galarraga.
Andres Galarraga played for the Expos and some other guys. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
So,
but there is a contention.
Well,
there's a contention of some of the folks right now who may not even know my name. They just know me as Big Cat.
So is
Big Cat's a good name for a D-line.
It's solid. It works.
Because
it's nimble on your feet, but ferocious.
Okay, so are we saying that Big Cat is the kind of the go-to that's the starter nickname? Like there's one in every grade essentially. As you're coming up, one person gets that title,
but it gets bestowed upon you as Big Cat. Another one is also Baby, Big Baby, or some variation of Baby.
Yeah.
There's going to be something along those lines.
Okay, all right. Best nickname so far: Kool-Aid McKinstry. At Alabama, did I say that? McKinstry? I know I got Kool-Aid right.
That's his name, though. I just love to hear Nick Saban talk about it. Well, Kool-Aid is you got to be sitting there thinking Nick Saban's going, what the heck is this? Kool-Aid, well, Kool-Aid is he's very, and it'll explode, quite frankly, it, just ticks me off, but Kool-Aid is a very good player. So I just like hearing Nick Saban say that name.
Yeah, I think we all like Nick Saban going on Nick Saban-esque rants. 803-404-6100, how you can weigh in this morning. We come back, we'll get back into that Josiah Thompson announcement on Friday, just get JC's take on adding another quality offensive lineman. There was an article that I think you or Hale McGranahan, somebody put up not too long ago that pointed out the last 10 offensive line commitments, one specific position there that South Carolina's recruited. And my goodness, to see what Shane Beamer, Lonnie Teasley, and Greg Atkins have done on that line over the last really 3 recruiting cycles is pretty impressive. We'll get into that a little bit. Also get into a big event you've got coming up. Start promoting that a little bit on April. This is where I drew confusion because I thought it was on a Friday night, but it's on a Thursday night. Friday night, that Friday. That's why I was confused, is because I thought we're leaving for the beach on that Friday night, and I thought you were doing on Friday night? I was informed that it's a Thursday night.
Yeah, I text somebody about it.
Yeah, I was informed.
Hey, what you guys got going on?
Yeah, then
Thursday,
because then that person was like, "Hey, what do you got going on Thursday that I don't know about?" And I was like, "I don't know."
Oh God, no! I didn't mean to open that can of worms. But no. I was just wondering, like, if there was a conflict or something, and there is. The NFL draft starts an hour after the event, but hey, people can still hang around and watch the draft.
Well, we'll talk. Yeah, we'll set that up and we'll talk about it again. Get into some recruiting and also last night the WNBA draft as well. 803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Have you missed any of the early game?
You can catch up by going to the early game on demand page at 1075thegame.com.
Or by downloading our 1075 The Game app on iTunes or Google Play.
The weekend is the best. Well, it's not the best time, but it is a lot of fun to get out each and every weekend and grill. That's right. And when we do that, when the Gunner family does that, there's only one place I stop for my fresh cuts of meat, and that is Old Timey Meat Market. 3 locations to choose from: St. Andrews, South Congaree, or Lexington. Old Timey Meat Market's shelves are always stocked with various cuts and grades of beef, pork, poultry, seafood, and exotic meats. And I'll tell you what, you hear me talk about it, the bacon wrapped fillets. My kids love them. I personally love the Italian chicken skewers, and you heard me talk about those. Are great. You want to talk about something that's like meal prepping? You can get 4 or 5 of those chicken skewers, Italian chicken skewers. You can put them on the grill. It'll feed the family. It'll give you leftovers for a couple days. They're phenomenal. I'll tell you what. And then if you like pork, the pork chops at Old Timey Meat Market, second to none. That's just on the meat selection when you're talking chicken, the steak, and the pork. I also love the frozen country biscuits. They go great each and every morning when I fix breakfast with bacon, with eggs, put a little jelly on them. The country biscuits, absolutely to die for. You need to go visit Old Timey Meat Market yourself and find all these great deals that they have. The shelves, again, stocked. Great cuts of beef, pork, poultry. Again, the selection's always fresh, never frozen. It is definitely, I can tell you this, definitely competitively priced, and they have the absolute highest quality as well. Another thing I left off, the chicken salad. You want a great little afternoon snack? You pick up Old Timey Meat Market's chicken salad, put it on a little Tostitos chip, put some hot sauce in there. I'm telling you what, you got a fantastic snack when you come home from work. Again, visit their 3 locations, St. Andrews, South Congaree, and Lexington. You won't regret it. Old Timey Meat Market is my go-to. Make it yours as well. Visit Old Timey Meat Market.
This is JR with the CBS Sports Minute. The NBA play-in game starts tonight. Ironically, we started this year off with Draymond punching Jordan Poole in practice, and now we get Rudy Gobert punching Kyle Anderson on the bench of an actual game. Let's watch all of the lowly teams battle for an actual playoff berth, and let's hope for more basketball and less fisticuffs. I'm JR.
Purchase new wiper blades from O'Reilly Auto Parts today and we'll install them for free. See better and drive safer with O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is your captain. You may have noticed my new haircut on your way in. Wanted to look my best. Got the new passport photo taken at Staples. In and out in 10 minutes. And while I'm there, I can grab travel-sized body wash. Maybe a shower cap. Don't want to mess up the new do.
Staples has everything you need to travel. 10-minute passport photos, luggage, headphones, even personal travel items. And now at Staples, get 20% off your in-store purchase when you buy any travel service. Get all set to jet and save at Staples. Offer ends 4/29. In-store only. Exclusions apply.
Gear up for spring staffs with Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Sponsored by KFC. Everybody's going to want KFC's new Kentucky Fried Chicken Nuggets. Each hand-breaded nugget is made with 100% white meat and their famous original recipe. You've never had nuggets like these. That's finger-licking good.
Spectrum Business is the no-nonsense way for small businesses to stay connected with fast, reliable internet service and Spectrum Business Connect, the all-in-one app to make calls, host video conferences, and send texts. Connect to customers from any device, anywhere. Get both and get one mobile line free for 1 year. No contracts, no hidden fees, no nonsense. Just business. Visit spectrum.com/business today. Restrictions apply. Services not available in all areas.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Haley, quote, Navage is the best thing I bought. I love it. My nose feels so clear now and I can breathe. I've been struggling with a stuffy nose for weeks. I bought Navage and it's amazing. Or this one. I use Navage every night, could not imagine life without it. I have 5 cats, and before I found Navage, I was a clogged mess. Now I breathe so much better, unquote. Those are 2 of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Get a great deal on versatile Kubota equipment today, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, part of our tractor lineup rated #1 in durability and owner experience, Z Series mowers, and Sidekick utility vehicles. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Bring home select L Series equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 72 months, plus save up to $800 now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
Stop by Pioneer Farm Equipment in Orangeburg, 1 mile off of I-26 exit 154B, or at pioneerfarmsc.com.
Wrestling fans, feel the podcast heat. Woo! Join Hall of Fame wrestlers every week sharing their stories from the past. Click this with Kevin Nash.
I'm in the ring in my mind saying, that's Hulk Hogan. Like Hogan's with us.
And insights on what's happening now. Strictly Business with Eric Bischoff.
We love breaking down the business of the wrestling business.
Ric Flair, Mike Moley, Jake the Snake Roberts, good old JR, and more. Get into the WrestleMania spirit. Just search Podcast Heat wherever you listen.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
And it looks like we do have one accident to let you know about. I-77 northbound there at exit 24. Aside from that, traffic moving along fairly well this morning. 74 will be our high today. Warming up for the rest of the week. 79 on Wednesday. Thursday, a high of 80. But we do have that chilly start once again. It is 37 at 107.5 The Game.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Eight 803-404-6100. If you want to be a part of the program this morning, I'll read you, Preston and JC, a text message here in just a minute that I want to go back into on the nicknames because I'm not sure about these. But let me remind you, tomorrow morning, Preston and I will broadcast live from the Capital City Club, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. It is sponsored by the Columbia Executive and Owners Association. Throughout the morning, we will talk to members of the association and share with you how you might be able to be involved in Columbia's premier business association. So you can tune in tomorrow, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and listen to Preston and I snack on a delicious breakfast. I'm sure that'll make for scintillating radio, but you can hear us talk with the Columbia Executive and Owners Association throughout the morning. We'll talk to members and share with you how you might be able to be involved in Columbia's premier business association. Look forward to that. Text comes in real quick. Back to the nicknames discussion that we just had. Jason says, heard y'all talking nicknames. Nicknames from high school football. Casper.
Yep, that is probably the white fast guy on the team.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sticks.
He's skinny.
Yeah, he says Sticks from being skinny. Mm-hmm. Granddaddy.
He's the old guy. He's definitely maybe a senior or super. Jordan Strawn is gonna be that guy this year.
Jordan Strawn is pop, I believe, at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe it'd be like a slow guy, like the golfer.
Maybe possibly. That's possibly
You
that.
Catfish.
Maybe ugly.
Wow.
I was saying maybe you couldn't catch him.
Yeah. Slippery, possibly, or ugly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
JC, you want to weigh in on Catfish from high school nickname days?
Oh yeah, quarterback for my high school team, who's now the head coach at Westside in Anderson. His nickname was Catfish. Funny you mentioned Casper. All right, so I have a friend, and I won't name his name, but his name is essentially a nickname, right? So he goes by a nickname, and some guys do that, right? It's not on his birth certificate, nothing like that, but he's just been called this since youth. And then he gave himself another nickname in high school, and it was Casper. Now, he didn't play; he played all kinds of other sports but football. But he's a lifelong friend of mine. I always give him crap about it. I'm like, how you gonna give yourself a nickname when your name is a nickname? I mean, that makes no sense. That's just one of those high school things, you know. Oh, well, you know, we all kind of, oh, this will be cool, and no, it's not cool at all. But anyway, so that's kind of my story with Casper there.
It's George Costanza. Hey, T-Bone. Yeah. Oh, we already have a T-Bone. What they would call him, Coco?
Listen, man.
Let's see. He's got two more. Meat and the I think that's the only one I got. I got too many text messages coming in because now I've got another one from John that goes to my nickname later in life was Pork Chop. So
Pork Chop. Yep. He's usually rotund. He's probably a man of heft. Yeah, Pork Chop's a good one. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other good ones from your days there, JC?
No, I mean, there was a recruit, a big offensive line recruit. I think he signed with Clemson. Maybe he did, or yeah, I think he did sign with Clemson this past cycle. They called him Flapjacks.
Okay,
I kind of like that.
Yeah, that was Zach
Zachariah Owens. Yeah, I like Flapjacks for an offensive lineman. I think that's a stellar name because I like saying that word in lieu of pancakes. I'll say flapjack. And I guess there's a distinct difference, but I don't care. But flapjacks for an O-lineman, man, I think that's pretty solid.
I will say that I feel like in the age of NIL, you have to. It's now a prerequisite that you have to go to college with a nickname.
Yeah, nicknames are tricky though. It's tricky because, like you said, you can't give it to yourself. That doesn't work right. And they have to be given to you. Then they have to stick. It's tricky.
So at some point, we need to come up with nicknames for the show.
Yeah,
everybody in the show.
Yeah, there's some. We can do this. We just have to work through some things.
So work through some things. Boy, all right. Yeah, there's a summertime program if I've ever heard one. 803-404-6100. Back to the recruiting real quick. JC, y'all had an article out last week, I believe, on the offensive line recruiting for South Carolina, and really what Greg Adkins, I guess you would say Greg Adkins kind of started. Lonnie Teasley has carried over. Shane Beamer, obviously a big part of that. Every time we turned around, he was scaling a tree for Big Tree Babalade. Like, just
there you go.
Yeah, I mean, Beamer doing whatever it takes, but it is in all your years of covering recruiting, have you seen South Carolina be able to stack offensive linemen like what they're doing, and if they add Josiah Thompson to that group, what they've been able to do on that line?
No, I've never seen anything like this. I think Brad Scott had an O-line class back, in the 90s, and they were all highly touted guys. But I think a lot of them unfortunately got hurt and never really panned out. But no. I mean, and if you kind of look at it, the three they took in 2022. Awfully solid players, 2 out of Georgia, 1 out of PA. And then last year was probably the best on paper. Marquis Anderson is already starting to make a push into the 2 deep. You mentioned Big Tree Babalade. Trevon Ball was a 4-star guy until, for whatever reason, he dropped at the end, but he's an Under Armour All-American, so who cares? Jatavius Shivers, who they flipped from Vanderbilt, Carolina beat Auburn and Michigan on him. He's 6'7", 275. He may not be ready to go like right away, but down the road, I mean, he could be really, really, really good. And then you kind of float over and look at the transfer portal guys. Nick Gargiulo and Sidney Fugar both in the 2 deep, which is what you want. Fugar has 3 years to play at Carolina, the transfer from Western Illinois. And then so far this year, it's kind of a blessing if you're South Carolina that you have 3 high-level offensive line prospects in the state, because that's not always the case, especially at offensive tackle. And Blake Franks could play tackle, could play guard. Josiah Thompson and then Cam Pringle are tackles all the way, and 2 of the best in the country this cycle. So, a little home field advantage there, but I think you take it, because those Josiah Thompson and Cam Pringle could have gone anywhere in the country. Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, wherever. And then Blake Franks obviously had an impressive offer list and picked the Gamecocks over Clemson. So, you add Josiah in to the mix, which I expect that. I projected that for a while. And maybe you get 1 more, maybe 2 more, and keep stacking them, because that's the more talented guys with upside like that you have. The more you guard yourself against, we had these 2 big time guys and they busted, so who do we have now? In other words, the more competition you have, the better. And I think Lonnie Teasley, Greg Atkins, Sam, who works with them, they're kind of a little group that recruits the offensive line, and they've done a great job of selling the Great Wall of Carolina to kids, and they're really approachable, and there's just something special about what they're doing in terms of building relationships with these players, and that's allowed them to do a really, really good job, on the recruiting trail. So it's a very positive thing. I think, in this league, you're always going to play some of the best defensive lines in the country year in and year out. Add Clemson to that mix. Heck, add North Carolina to that mix. They're good on the D-line. But, you feel better about going to battle with a bunch of big, athletic, tough guys than you do otherwise. You're still not going to be perfect. I don't want fans to think Carolina's just going to, in 3 years, line up and run all over people like Wisconsin. But I think it gives them a better chance to get out there and establish a power run game and, compete, be in the mix against some of these better D-lines they ultimately will face year in and year out.
And that's what you just said, JC, is what makes offensive line recruiting so difficult, because there's 3 components. Obviously, we can all see whether or not they're big. Then we can watch them on the field and see how athletic they are. But you don't know until you get them on campus if they are tough, because a lot of times offensive linemen in high school, they're bigger than other guys, so they can sort of push people around. And you may not necessarily know how tough they are until they get on campus and get around other tremendous athletes. So that is why offensive line recruiting is always, it's not a crapshoot, but it is interesting.
Yeah, it is. And, Coach told me one time, if you sign 5 guys you like on the offensive line and 3 of them pan out, that's a huge win. Just because, I know a lot of it too, depends on biology. Preston, it's like Mitch Hyatt, 5-star guy, was a absolute starter at Clemson all 4 years, did not get drafted because he just couldn't get big enough to play in the NFL.
Right.
He's fine for the college level. And it was just how his body was kind of shaped and all that. So, you kind of look, and there are guys like that. Then there are guys that show up that are 6'7", 205 when they step on campus. The next thing you know, they're 285, 290, and a franchise tackle. I mean, Sedarius Hutcherson, who just finished up at South Carolina, he was a 220-pound DN. And Sean Elliott took a chance on him. Next thing you know, he's 320 and was probably one of Carolina's best linemen for a few years. So
right.
that's the nature of the beast. I think when I evaluate O-line, I like to look at footwork, obviously frame, extension, and then there's that toughness thing that's kind of hard to determine. But there's and then I think you also have to look at like what these guys. Some high schools have really good O-line coaches. Some have, high school O-line coaches. And so you got to kind of look and see, well, their technique's not that good, but have they been coached? to do it. There's a couple of guys, I don't want to name names on Carolina's roster right now, that, once they got to college, their film and their footwork got a lot better, because I just don't want to insult any coaches in South Carolina, but, that's a factor too. You take a kid from Cincinnati Moeller, or you take a kid from, name your high school, small 1A, 2A high school somewhere. There's going to be a difference in how that kid's coached technique-wise when he gets there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why you'll hear anybody who knows anything about high school sports, they'll tell you that offensive line coach on any team is the most valuable person, because if you can get one that knows what they're talking about and can coach those guys up, you have a definite chance. And there's usually a big disparity between an O-line coach who knows what they're doing and then somebody who's doing their best but just doesn't really know the techniques.
Mm-hmm.
We'll continue talking about this, get into a little bit more on that. Look ahead to the spring game, and again, get into that event that JC and Carolina Rise are putting on. You're listening to Preston Thorne. I'm Bill Gunner. She's Jen Jensen. He is JC Shurburtt. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Got something to say?
Ring us up on the Love Chevy phone line. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer.
At 803-404-6100.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Preston here for Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. If your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle the job. Cracked windshields, no problem. They'll come out to your location and replace it for you, usually for free. And they'll work directly with your insurance company to take away the headache. If you're looking to increase the value of your home, you can get new windows or mirrors. Absolute Glass will take care of all of that for you. Windows, mirrors, shower enclosures. You hear me say it on the radio all the time. If you can see through it, Ray and Marianne at Absolute Glass can do it. So check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. That's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
If you have an IRS problem, getting accurate legal advice could help get all this behind you right now. Hi, I'm local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. To get the best results for our clients, we stay on top of the law and the IRS rules and regulations. It's important to us to get you back on track and in compliance legally without worry for your future. At the Ecton Law Firm, we've handled hundreds of cases for everyday hardworking people like you right here in the Carolinas. Don't face the IRS alone. Know your legal rights. Call me to set up your appointment. The first visit is completely free and confidential. You'll meet with a licensed attorney in person at our office in Irmo, just off I-26. If you're facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call me, John Ecton, at 803-771-9800. That's 803-771-9800. Or go to EctonLawFirm.com. Carolinas, if you have an IRS issue, you need a local attorney. You need me, John Ecton.
Metz Plumbing is growing and looking for exceptional plumbers and apprentices. If you enjoy helping people in our community, if you want a flexible work schedule, if you're looking to earn $85,000 to $100,000 per year, plus benefits and paid time off, if you want free training in order to become a licensed plumber, and if you're ready for a rewarding career as part of a family, then we want to talk to you. For information, call Tammy at 732-DRIP or apply online at MetzPlumbing.com.
732-DRIP.
No one likes to talk about the injuries, pain, disability, and lost loved ones that result from terrible car and tractor-trailer accidents. I'm Jason Reynolds. At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we're honored to be the lawyers our clients rely on during their toughest moments.
And I'm Stephen Samuels. When a work injury disrupts your life, I work hard to get you the medical treatment and workers' compensation you depend on.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
When you think about spring, good stuff springs to mind. You know, like spring break. Woohoo! A friend springing for drinks.
Thanks, dude.
A spring in your step. Spring fever.
Oh, behave.
And best of all, spring water dough pizza from the Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers.
Yeah, baby!
Experience the taste of spring with our amazing hand-tossed pies, spring fresh salads, and over 100 beers from around the world. Enjoy spring at the Mellow Mushroom in the Vista and on Sunset in Lexington.
Introducing Herndon Certified. Herndon Certified used vehicles are quality assured and come with our 60-day warranty, complete with nationwide coverage. Don't just buy a used car. Buy a Herndon Certified used car and drive with confidence, knowing Herndon's got you covered. Find your perfect pre-owned in-store or online at HerndonChevy.com.
Herndon Chevrolet, turn and makes you wanna smile.
Family is comfort. It's care. It's a safe place. It seems when you need help, you can always count on family. At Broom Heating, Air, and Electrical, they are a family you can depend on and have been for 53 years. Heating and air is their passion. Customer service is their pleasure. And when Broom Heating, Air, and Electrical are in your home, your family is theirs. For an appointment, call 803-754-9409 or visit their website at broomheating.com.
Business owners, this is South Carolina quarterback Spencer Rattler. The Garnet Trust is connecting businesses like yours with athletes like me through NIL deals. Head over to garnettrust.com or 1075thegame.com to find out you can leverage the power of an athlete endorsement to grow your business.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Just one accident to let you know about. I-77 northbound at exit 24. That would be Highway 21 there on I-77 northbound. Your weather for today, looking not too bad. 74 for the high, sunny and mild. 79 tomorrow, up to 80 by Thursday. That is very good news after the last weekend that we had. Right now, it's a little cool, though. It's 38 at 107.5 The Game.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
7:39 on your Tuesday morning. JC Shurburtt joining us as he does each and every Tuesday. Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, Jennifer Jensen. JC, you'll remember some of this. Let's hear. Preston, I want one word or just a one noise reaction when I give you these names. Okay?
Okay.
One word or one noise when I give you these names. Offensive, I'm reading the list, so if I'm wrong on the position, I apologize. Offensive guard. 6'4", this listed 6'4", 230 pounds, Chad Walker.
Chad, big dude, Alabama.
Was he 230? He wasn't 230.
No, he was not 230.
All right, so this is, I was going to say. Offensive tackle, 6'5", 315, Nick Johnson.
That's my sound.
Offensive tackle, 6'6", 340, Jason Harris.
Jason Harris quit early. By the way, my mother's claim to fame is that when we met Jason Harris on our unofficial visit, she promptly told us that boy's not going to make it. And he didn't make it. So shout out to you, Jason. I've never seen you since the day you left.
Nobody knows where he's at now?
Mm-hmm.
This is a defensive end, but we both know him. He ended up playing offensive tackle, got a small cup of tea in the NFL. Strong side defensive end, 6'5", 250, Jonathan Alston.
Chewbacca was his nickname. Chewy.
And then one you've mentioned, offensive tackle, 6'5", 295, Jonathan Strickland.
Strick is my guy, man. That's my dude. We banged heads every day. He played center. Those dudes, it's interesting you call those goes out because when I walked into the weight room the first time, I saw those dudes lifting weights, and I was like, "Oh, there's no way I'm going to play football here. These guys are terrifying. They're huge. They lift a lot of weights, and it's always fascinating."
For those wondering, that is the 2000 South Carolina offensive line recruiting class that enrolled with one Preston Thorne, listed at 6'1", 260-pound defensive tackle. Big Cat Thorne, South Carolina brought in. Jace,
based on the measurements, I'm glad to say that I was 6'1" in high school. I'm no longer 6'1", so that's how measurements work.
Yeah, I asked both of you this weekend. JC, I'll start with you because I've got more time with Preston. The format for what you want to see. Obviously, I think they'll do a draft and divide it up. But for me, it's really interesting because of the quarterback situation. Spencer Rattler, I would assume, will get a series, maybe two, maybe a quarter at most. But to me, Saturday night's a lot about seeing these backup quarterbacks, seeing Tanner Bailey, Lenora Sellers, Colton Gauthier, Braden Davis, and, of course, Luke Doty. What are you expecting in terms of the format, and what are you expecting out of that position group? Because that, to me, is really interesting in a spring game.
Yeah, I think it could devolve into the Lenora Sellers show, to be honest, kind of based on, what I've heard, how he's been running the football and taking up the offense. And Tanner Bailey obviously will get a lot of reps too, Braden Davis, Colton Gauthier. I don't know that I think Doty will probably get more series than Spencer, but I don't know that Spencer's going to play a whole lot, and rightfully so. It's a spring game. It's basically a scrimmage. So you just go out there and get everybody some reps. But yeah, as far as the format goes, I don't anticipate them going to the format they used 2 years ago when there were just so many guys injured. I think they'll play a game like they did last year under the lights, and we'll see. I mean, you remember last year, DJ Twitty, the other linebacker from Chapman, that's a walk-on, looked good. Rashad Amos had a good game. I mean, there were some flash plays by Marshawn Lloyd that we all remember, but other than that, it was kind of it was one of those things where the backups really were the stars of the show, and I expected the same thing to happen Saturday night. I am curious to see some of these younger players, though, especially in the secondary. Guys like at linebacker like Pup Howard and Stone Blanton. How much better has Debo Williams gotten? Those are all kind of individual questions that, I don't know if you'll be able to tell or not, but, certainly something that your antenna's up for when it comes to the spring game.
There is a lack of depth at running back to carry on Joyner, obviously back there, Mario Anderson Jr., Juju McDowell, a few other walk-ons. But I would assume that you're going to see, number one, to make it a little more exciting for fans, but to do what we just talked about, the secondary and for the quarterback, it's going to be a pretty pass-heavy scrimmage. You would agree with that?
I think so. Now, one of the things I didn't mention there, I am looking forward to seeing just how Joyner looks at running back. I always have to give credit to John Whittle for calling this a few years back that they may need to move him, and then the staff finally did. And from what I've heard out of practice, he's looking really good. So I'm curious to kind of see that myself and see how he looks in terms of things like vision and hitting the hole and following his blockers and quickness and cutting and all that good stuff. So that would be another one of my big storylines heading into Saturday.
803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in. We'll come back. JC has got a pretty cool event coming up with Carolina Rise. We'll discuss that. Let him give you details on how you can be a part of that. It'll take place down at Home Team Barbecue coming up here at the end of the month. You're listening to The Early Game on 107.5 The Game.
We are very social.
At 107.5 The Game on Twitter, 107.5 The Game on Instagram, and 107.5 The Game on Facebook.
Oh, Teddy, did you get my friend request? Oh, I'll have to check.
Your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Denny's. Know what time it is? It's diner time. And now Denny's presents the new Diner Classics Plus menu with instant classics like the new Spicy Moons made with spicy chorizo and jalapenos, or the new red, white, and blue buttermilk pancakes. Craving breakfast, lunch, dinner, or anything in between? At Denny's, it's diner time.
Life matters. Today, Life Matters is mostly personal stuff because I just want to take a minute to say thanks to some of the greatest people in the world, the Christian Life Church family. My family moved here 12 years ago knowing almost no one, and these folks welcomed us and made us part of their family. We have never been loved and helped like we have by the good folks of Christian Life. I must tell you that none of us is perfect or sinless. In fact, we wouldn't know what to do with perfect folks. We're a community of people who are on our way to heaven together, struggling to learn how to be good parents, good citizens, and good neighbors. By the way, there's room for you to join us. You'll be treated just as special as I was. This is Stephen Chitty, pastor of Christian Life on Bush River Road. Visit us on the web at christianlifecolumbia.com. And remember, life matters, and so do you. Go to clcolumbia.com for in-person and live streaming service times.
Introducing Herndon Certified. Herndon Certified used vehicles are quality assured and come with our 60-day warranty. complete with nationwide coverage. Don't just buy a used car. Buy a Herndon certified used car and drive with confidence, knowing Herndon's got you covered. Find your perfect pre-owned in-store or online at HerndonChevy.com.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile, smile.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's $7,500 sign-on bonuses, increased pay, and great employee benefits available. Start your new year off with a new career. Visit joinscdc.com to apply today or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
Hey, Scott here from Traditions Fine Jewelers. When it comes to diamonds, everybody knows that we have the best selection. But did you know that we also have the best prices? How do we do it? In Mine Diamonds, we work directly with the largest cutters, and in lab-grown diamonds, by working directly with the growing laboratories, which allows us to offer you the best quality at the very best price. Like a lab-grown 1-carat diamond for just $999, or a 2-carat for just $2,999. We've even got a beautiful colorless 3-carat diamond for just $4,999. And once you've picked your diamond, we can help you pick exactly the right engagement ring style from our selection of over 1,000 rings, or we can help you design a custom ring that meets your exact specifications. So do your homework and see what diamonds are selling for online, and then come see us. You'll get exactly what you want at the very best price. Only at Traditions Fine Jewelers, 5134 Sunset Boulevard in Lexington, and in Sand Hills, where the Midlands get engaged.
Spectrum Business is the no-nonsense way for small businesses to stay connected with fast, reliable internet service and Spectrum Business Connect, the all-in-one app to make calls, host video conferences, and send texts. Connect to customers from any device, anywhere. Get both and get one mobile line free for 1 year. No contracts, no hidden fees, no nonsense. Just business. Visit spectrum.com/business today. Restrictions apply. Services not available in all areas.
South Carolina fans, this is Spencer Rattler. The Garnet Trust is making a difference by connecting fans like you with athletes like me through NIL deals. Head on over to garnettrust.com to find out how you can support me and my teammates for as little as $10.
Get the right care at the right place. Visit Lexington Medical Center's convenient urgent care centers for minor illnesses and injuries, and use our emergency room for emergencies. Go to lexmed.com/care now to know where to go for the care you need now.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
And still working on an earlier accident, I-77 northbound there, exit 24. Also, a disabled vehicle might be slowing things down a little bit, and that's I-20 eastbound at Monticello Road. Sunny and mild today, 74 for our high, 79 tomorrow, up to 80 on Thursday, 74 on Friday with some scattered showers possible. Right now, though, it's chilly, 38 at 1075 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The Early Game with Bill Gunter.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
And Jen Jensen on your home of the Gamecocks.
1075 The Game.
Seven 7:52 on a Tuesday morning. Bill Gunner, J.C. Shurburtt, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen. Coming up, close to the end of the month. Got a great opportunity with you with J.C. Shurburtt and Carolina Rise. They got some great events going on, but it will be at Home Team Barbecue on April the 27th, which is a Thursday. And unlike me, I thought it was a Friday, but I now have looked at the calendar. JC, you got a great little event for people to get involved with, place you can go and buy tickets. Talk a little bit about what's going on with Carolina Rise on Thursday, April the 27th.
Yeah, sure. If you use promo code TBS, like the Big Spur, you get $10 off the $50 admission. Home Team Barbecue is gracious enough to host us. Included in that price is your meal, door prizes will be given out with gift bag. We're going to have a 50-50 raffle. It includes unlimited pictures with the players we have at the event. And then you get one signed item if you bring it in yourself. That's included as well. Everything else it's a fundraiser. So everything else is like a small upcharge. If you want the players to do video shout-outs for you, cameo style, that's a small fee. But it's all for the players. If you want to get tickets, go to carolinarise.com, scroll all the way on our site right now. You got to scroll down quite a bit. And then you'll see the ticket information and how to purchase it and all that good stuff. We've, it's been steady, but we probably need to sell some more, especially for the Columbia event. We have one in Charleston Saturday that's selling pretty well, but we figure there'll also be some people that'll show up at the door, and we will be selling some tickets at the door unless we sell out before then. So to carry on, Joyner, Mo Cabo, Xavier Leggett, Mario Anderson, Jalen Nichols, Sidney Fugger, Nick Gargiulo, Trey Jones, Juju McDowell, Rashawn Lee, Ja'Kai Moore, Tyshawn Wanamaker, and Marcellus Dial. And there may be one more that jumps in. Offensive line wing eating contest with the players. So that's going to be quite an event and all that. And talking to some of the players, they're excited about that. Like I said, also this is important. Kids 8 and younger will get to attend. You don't have to buy a ticket for them as long as you got an adult ticket. So it's a great chance to bring your kids out and have them meet their favorite Gamecocks, take pictures with them, all that good stuff. So it'll be a fun event. We hope to see everybody out there. All proceeds from this just get reinvested into the players, for NIL deals and all that. I mean, you look at the baseball team, there's about 15 guys that Carolina Rise has taken care of, most of the better players on the team. Football obviously is like 75% of what we do. Even have a couple of guys that on the men's basketball team, Zach Davis and Jacoby Wright, that got NIL deals through us recently. So it's been growing. We need more. It's one where you don't have to be a millionaire. You can sign up for as little as $10 a month. 1801 club starts at 1801 a month, and there's power in numbers. So we want anybody that wants to join to come join, and especially buy tickets for that event. That would be huge.
Should be a great event. It'll be again Thursday, August the 27th. Go to carolinarise.com for more details, and you can scroll down and purchase tickets. Again, as JC said, use promo code TBS there to get $10 off your $50 ticket, and you go hang out Home Team Barbecue 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then you're right, you can hang around and watch a little bit of the NFL draft, maybe be hanging around with some guys who will be participating in that draft in the near future. JC, we always appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the spring game this weekend. We look forward to catching up with you next week.
Thanks, man. Thanks, guys.
Take care. Oh, when we come back, hour 3, we'll get back into some of that women's basketball draft. But I've got the class of 2000 in front of me. That was a little fun experience with Preston just reading out names and getting a reaction. We'll play a little bit more of that. It's the early game, 107.5 The Game.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Gamecock quarterback Spencer Rattler, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game, the home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
Uneven sidewalks, pool decks, or patios? Canty can repair them for just a fraction of the cost of replacement. Call Canty Foundation Specialists today for your free estimate.
Canty can fix it.
Uneven concrete can be a dangerous tripping hazard leading to injury. Call the experts at Canty to permanently repair your sinking or cracked concrete. Call 753-1495 or visit CantyCanFixIt.com. Canty can fix it.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest
At
way.
Kroger, shopping with pickup and delivery is the same as shopping in-store. Same low prices, deals, and rewards on the same high-quality items. With one small click for groceries, one big win for busy families everywhere. Start your cart today at Kroger.com. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Save big on your favorites with the Buy 5 or More, Save $1 each sale. Simply buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with your card. Kroger, fresh for
This is
everyone.
Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing.
Hi, this is Jason Hill with Hillcrest Outdoor Services. I'm a proud member of the Columbia Executive and Owners Association, inviting you to check us out at ceoa.org. CEOA is your business accelerator. 100 plus members of the business community here in the capital city, referring, building, buying, and working with one another each week to generate millions of dollars in business revenue. The CEOA is business networking to the 10th power. Check us out at ceoa.org.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by the power of love Chevrolet, Tahoe, Silverado, Suburban, Colorado. If your dreams for the new year include cruising around town in your brand new Chevy, look no further than South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. Love Chevy, I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game
with Bill Gunter.
South Carolina will be getting ready. The baseball team will be getting ready for a series that weekend against what? Oh, no. The problem is I'm looking at April. That's why there's no March 24th. That's why there's no March. That's why there's no Friday the 24th.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne and Jen Jensen.
That would explain exactly. I was like, what is wrong with this calendar? Like, why is there no? There was a Friday the 21st and a Friday the 28th, and I was like, this is not adding up at all.
on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Tuesday morning episode. Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen. I think I've got a new segment that we're going to start doing maybe on Fridays. But I just did it during the break, and I loved every second of it. Maybe it'll be your Friday dad joke of the week. I'll give you a few minutes to answer this. What is the scariest plant out there? The scariest plant. It is a dad joke. What is the scariest plant out there? Jen and Preston couldn't come up with it. They tried. They tried during the entire break. They could. Then they got impatient and started asking. I said I have to bring it up on air. But that's what you got to do. You guys have the scariest plant out there.
Is it a plant? Is it a tree? Is it a flower?
I said the face plant, and that was not the right answer.
It's not the right answer. I don't know what this is technically considered. I feel like if I was to answer If I was, it is a diverse group of mostly evergreen flowering plants. What is the scariest plant out there? 803-404-6100. I'll give you a few minutes to come up with that. That might become part of our Friday show, the dad joke of
I like it.
Dad joke of the week. We'll just have you submit dad jokes throughout the week and see who has the best. We maybe tell you, if we were good at our job, if we were really good at our job, we'd come up with one from us and one from the listener, and somebody would get a prize.
We'll work on
We'll work on that. There's your. So I'll give you the answer to
Hey,
that.
I brought in nuts, so there's the prize right there.
You did. You know what?
Leftover
And
canister of nuts.
she brought in but there. I'm gonna this week or today. I think there's a store right here in town. Is Cromer's Peanuts still around?
Yeah, I think so.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
I know there's other places that have the fried like whole shell peanuts. You eat the shell and all.
Oh,
That was what I was referring to. Not what you were. It's the roasted peanut, but it's been fried and you eat shell and all.
I'd not heard of that.
I will.
I mean, these fried blistered things I have are good that I'll let you guys try. But
Yeah. Yep. That's so I'll do that. Yeah, we're going in all kinds of different directions here. This is the way we go. 803-404-6100. Another game we're going to play this hour is just reliving Preston's recruiting class. Let me give you another name here that we come up with here that's on this list. DeAndre Island.
Tupelo, Mississippi, the pride of Tupelo, Mississippi. Freshman All-American, free safety, track guy. Also was called Kid because he had a striking resemblance to Kid from Kid and Play. And so whenever people wanted to make fun of him, they would call him Kid. But yeah, shout out to DeAndre.
There you go. We'll play that game. 803-404-6100. The dad jokes have to be appropriate.
Oh, yeah.
All right? By the way,
yeah.
Sammy sends one in that's good. It's really good, but I'm not sure that I can let's put it this way. I'd rather wait until about the noon hour when I know the kids aren't in the car so that certain parents aren't having to go, oh, well, son or daughter. Raj on our live stream has landed the answer. The scariest plant out there is bamboo.
You know what?
Bamboo.
Okay. That one actually kind of came to mind, but I didn't think of it as being a plant.
How about bamboo?
No, it's boo. Yeah, see? There you go.
No. I'm booing.
I know. I got it. I was transferring it around.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. There you. It's what we're all about here on the early game.
No, that was pretty solid. That was a good one. I will make fun of it and then put it in my arsenal.
It goes in. Yes. Send a text message to my daughter with that while she was in school. You get 40. You start if these things come to you and you're like, I better go ahead and send it in a text message now and remember it. 803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in this morning. Again, a couple really good things for the University of South Carolina. Let's start with this past weekend where the South Carolina dance team, the Carolina girls, over the weekend won their third straight national championship. 2021, 2022, and 2023. They deserve just as much publicity as any of the other teams that we've had that have won national championships. And to win 3 straight, very impressive by those young ladies. So congratulations to them. You've got your national champion dance team.
Light up capstone for them.
They did. They did actually
awesome.
The other night.
Awesome.
Chris Staten actually sent me that picture and pretty cool. So awesome for them. Last night, a great night for Dawn Staley's program as a whole. Somebody pointed out earlier, this has got to help recruiting. Aaliyah Boston drafted first. Here is Aaliyah Boston being drafted last night at the WNBA draft. She goes to the Indiana Fever with the number 1 selection in the draft. Here you can hear it, how it occurred last night on with ESPN. Here's what. Here we go.
With the first pick in the 2023 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Aaliyah Boston, University of South Carolina.
It still gives me chills.
Yeah, it's awesome, and it's awesome. And it wasn't a surprise that she was drafted number 1, but there was a major surprise. Did anybody notice?
Yeah. Okay. No, like braces
No
or anything
braces.
like that.
The braces. She's officially grown up. She's moved on from the
that happened
braces.
fast.
Yeah, she
Like, that must have been.
that was the official coming out party. So I was like, oh, I think something looks different. So yeah, that was really cool.
Austin was wrapping up a basketball practice, so I didn't see Aaliyah Boston. I was flipping, then I came home, was flipping back and forth. You were talking off air. There was a consensus, and I don't want to word this inappropriately, but so I'm going to go just as mildly as I can. A consensus best dressed last night.
Yeah, 100%. Zia Cook. I'm looking through. There's all kinds of stuff on the internet to break down these draft looks, and Zia Cook was number 1. Let me read the description, Bill. I'm not sure you'll ever get this description again on the early game, but check it out. She wore a black evening gown with flowing sleeves and a bedazzled design around a peekaboo accent, topped off with Chanel earrings. It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous.
They all looked wonderful.
100%.
She was stunning.
Yeah, it was very classy, like almost
it was
Hollywoodish.
Yeah.
It was just true. I mean, tremendously, very, very classy look from her. Brie Beal had a hot pink sort of business suit,
satin looking.
Yeah, It was really
Sharp.
really cool look.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, that, like I said, I really like this stuff when you especially get a chance to see how these women choose to present themselves. When you don't see them on the court, you get a chance to get a glimpse into their personalities and who they sort of purport themselves to be. So I love it.
Because really, when you when you look at Aaliyah Boston, it's like, wait, she looks familiar, but just so different because again, they don't all take the opportunity to be glammed up on the court and stuff like that. So they did. I mean, they all look beautiful. And then I think I saw Asia Wilson commented on somebody. I don't think it was one of the Gamecock players, but somebody, she honed in on a picture of a watch and she said, "Oh man, at the glory of NIL." She said, "I had earrings from Target, on my night." So, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, man. A lot of the girls was throwing fits, man. It was awesome. It's great to see them get a chance to have your name called in that moment after all of those years of that hard work, man. And you can see Zia was very emotional. Bria was also very emotional, as they all were, I'm sure. But then all of their coaches, I really liked having all of the coaches there too, because you saw Dawn was there, Kim Mulkey was there,
All the
a lot of the support was there, man. It's a really great moment for all of those women. So awesome night. Gamecocks were well represented, and we'll see after this because now it's sort of like any other draft where now you got to go make the team and you got to go prove it now. So it's the beginning of their WNBA careers.
A lot of people know the Aaliyah Boston story of family moving to the States. Here's her talking afterwards last night about the sacrifice her family made to enhance her career.
I mean, it's really special. I think a lot of people know my story, but my parents made a big sacrifice, allowing my sister and I to move away from home at the age of 12 and 14. And so to be able to see their hard work pay off, it's just a blessing from God.
Really good story. And Aaliyah Boston, this was not a homegrown girl like Asia Wilson was. Wilson was from right down here, right down the road. We'd heard about Asia Wilson, I think as early as 12 years old, and there was a lot of pressure on her to stay home, to lift the program to heights that had never been lifted. She accomplished all that.
She did it, which is amazing.
Yeah. Aaliyah Boston comes in as a big-time recruit. I don't know if people remember. I remember when Aaliyah Boston picked South Carolina. Not that I followed the women's recruiting all that closely back then, but a lot of people thought she was destined for Connecticut. And
that would have made sense.
It was a bit of a shock that she chose South Carolina over Gino Ariema's program in Connecticut. And there had been other big recruiting victories for Dawn Staley. Asia Wilson obviously won. I go all the way back to Kelsey Bone, who unfortunately didn't make it like we thought she would. But Aaliyah Boston was one of the first massive ones where South Carolina went outside of their true territory, really went into Connecticut's backyard and took a player Connecticut was desperate from. And now we'll look back in Aaliyah Boston. We didn't get into it. I do want to come back to the jersey retirement discussion maybe later, just not so much because of Andrew Jones, but now the way to honor Aaliyah Boston. Because I personally don't like the actual you can't wear this jersey anymore retirement. The statue discussion, I think statues are kind of excessive and whatnot, but there does need to be a way that she's honored at Colonial Life Arena, where when you take your kids there in the years that come, that there's more than just her jersey sitting there. Whether it's a mural where you've got somewhere in that arena. You heard me say it back when we were talking about that land down there behind the practice facility that South Carolina's going to do that stuff with. South Carolina lacks a true dedicated sports Hall of Fame to honor old school athletes that have come through and served their time, to honor the new players. So we'll talk more about that. Probably not today, but we'll get more into that. 803-404-6100, how you can weigh in. Again, great weekend for South Carolina women's basketball. I know yesterday was not the weekend, but incredible night. 5 of the women selected. Aaliyah Boston, Letitia Amahir going 8th to the Atlanta Dream. Zaya Cook being drafted 10th by the Sparks. Bria Bill going to the Minnesota Lynx at 24, and then Victoria Saxton to the Indiana Fever at 25. So a great night for them. And again, fantastic weekend. And again, another shout out to the South Carolina women's dance team, the Carolina girls. A 3rd straight national championship. They deserve a shout out this morning, a little bit of love from South Carolina Nation for the hard work they've put in and what they were able to do. 803-404-6100 this morning. If you want to weigh in, running back 5'9", 178 pounds, Corey Alexander.
CA, Virginia.
JUCO player.
JUCO player came in that class. Speed demon guy. But he was a little bit older than us when he came in.
I think he called a big wheel route early on. It was either in fall camp.
Bill, I love this game.
Yeah, we'll continue to play that. The 2000 recruiting class, I stumbled upon it talking about offensive linemen with JC and Preston this morning, how South Carolina's recruited. I went back, so we'll continue to take Preston down memory lane and some of the players that came in with him. If you got something you want to weigh in on, 803-404-6100. You're listening to The Early Game on 107.5 The Game.
107.5 The Game On Demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner.
On the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
This is JR with the CBS Sports Minute. I know the MLB season just got underway, but is anybody paying attention to the Tampa Bay Rays? They've officially started the season at 10-0 after beating the Red Sox 1-0 last night. I know the Rays play in a concrete dump. I know you also probably can't name 3 players, but you have to give credit where it's due. Yeah, good luck to the Rays. I'm JR. CBS Sports Radio.
Dazzling decal on Daisy's Donuts window. Bold banner at Barry's Barbershop. Prominent poster at Penny's on Park Place.
This is your sign. Well, signs. To try Staples and see the difference. Get $15 off signs, banners, and posters when you spend $75 or more.
From Staples, and I couldn't miss it.
Ends 4/15. Visit staplesconnect.com/printbig for details.
WeatherGuard, the name that stands for unmatched security in truck boxes, is now making a name for itself on the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series circuit. WeatherGuard is the official sponsor of the safety and security work crews at Speedway Motorsports tracks across the country. Engineered to meet the demands from job sites to race sites, WeatherGuard truck boxes feature double welded seams, weather-tight seals, and high security latches and locks. If it's a job worth doing, it's a job worth WeatherGuard. Learn more at weatherguard.com/truck.
Sponsored by South Carolina Education Lottery. It's time to multiply the fun with a new multiplier series of scratch-offs. Revealing an X symbol can multiply your winnings from 2 times all the way up to 100 times your prize on the $10 ticket. Check these out as supplies last. See SCEducationLottery.com for game odds and details.
Hi, my husband and I own a small business in Columbia, and we ended up needing some help with some tax problems that we had and needed to get resolved. We initially owed about $300,000, and John Ecton and his law firm ended up getting us an offer in compromise, which dramatically reduced the amount owed. I would personally recommend the Ecton law firm. They did an excellent job for us, and if this is a concern that you're facing, they're definitely the people you should call.
It's great to know we have changed people's lives for the better. Hi, this is local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. For over a decade, our office has been dedicated to helping hardworking individuals and businesses solve tax problems for good. So if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call our office today at 771-9800 or go to ectonlawfirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Let's get your tax problem solved for good. Call today. You'll be glad you did.
It's time to get a hop on your spring cleaning checklist with the help of Zerust Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Right now, mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaning for only $129. Book online at ZerustColumbia.com.
That's the sound of the Doorbuster pricing event going on now at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. Gotta go to Galliana. Galliana Chrysler Jeep is making deals so good, they're breaking down the doors. Lease a new 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee for $333 per month. Yes, a new Jeep Grand Cherokee for $333 per month. Lease a new Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, or Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid and get $10,000 off. Plus, we'll take any trade in any condition at Galliana Chrysler Jeep. All trade-ins are welcome. Don't miss these doorbuster deals. Lease a new Jeep Grand Cherokee for just $333 per month. The sooner you come in, the more you save during the Jeep Celebration event at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. I-126 Zoo exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or GallianaSC.com. Stock number 37048. 24-month lease, $39.99 down plus tax and tag to it sign. Includes $225 closing fee, no security deposit. Subject to lender approval. Offers don't combine. Expires month ahead.
This is Monster Jam! Get ready for massive stunts, all-out racing, and crazy skills. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. The fun begins at the pit party, where you can meet the drivers, get autographs, take pictures, and see the trucks up close. Get your $20 pit party pass at monsterjam.com today. Must have valid event ticket to enter pit party. Restrictions may apply. Rules and activities are subject to change. Visit website for event details. It's full throttle family fun. Coming to Colonial Life Arena April 22nd and 23rd.
Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Traffic flow not too bad for your Tuesday morning. I-20 eastbound at Monticello Road, disabled vehicle could be impacting traffic flow a little bit. An earlier tie-up I-26 westbound just after exit 101 has been cleared, so things should start moving a little more normally here shortly. 74 for a high today, 79 tomorrow, 80 on Thursday. Maybe a chance for a scattered shower on Friday, looking for high of 74 on that day. Still a cooler start, though. It's 42 at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Yeah, we everybody wanted that third game played. Obviously, players, coaches, fans, everybody, media, everybody wanted that game played because the first 2 games were very well contested, obviously. So it was 2 heavyweights, and it's unfortunate that we weren't able to play the third game to have a winner in the series. But that being said, I'm very pleased with how we played in those 2 games. Outside of one tough inning there late in game 2. I thought we really showed that we could play with anybody in the country.
South Carolina back on the diamond tonight. That was Mark Kingston yesterday talking with Jay Phillips about this past weekend. South Carolina will host USC Upstate tonight, 7 o'clock. First pitch over at Founders Park. You can hear the pregame show 6:45 right here on 107.5 The Game. Matthew Becker will get the call tonight for the Gamecocks. sophomore left-hander, 2-0 on the season, 3.44 ERA, 26 strikeouts, 10 walks, and 18 1/3 innings pitched. He'll be opposed tonight by Caleb Costa, freshman right-hander. No wins, no losses, 5.79 ERA. Has only pitched 9 1/3 innings this year, 12 strikeouts, 6 walks. These two teams did play back on March 8th. The Gamecocks with a dominant 19-1 victory up at Fluor Field. The Gamecocks, again, will get ready now for a weekend. They'll play tonight and then get ready for a weekend series with Vanderbilt up in Nashville. More good news for the Gamecocks. Ethan Petrie named SEC. Thank you. Yes.
Good news for Petrie that Bill got his name right.
Probably bad news.
What if the curse? Bill has to say the name wrong.
He's been listening every morning. He's like, what can I he figured he had to keep playing better and better and better. Now I've gotten his name right. He's like, I've accomplished all I needed to accomplish. SEC Player of the Week, potential Freshman of the Year, National Freshman of the Year, Gunner saying my name correctly. What else is there to do?
Just be careful. Just have it loaded up in case he goes into a little slump. We're going to have to start saying your name wrong again, sir.
Ethan Petrie named Southeastern Conference Player of the Week. It was announced yesterday. Gamecocks, I don't ever keep up with all these polls, Preston. I don't know what other sport has 7 different baseball polls. 6 major polls. For those of you wondering, Gamecocks are now ranked number 3 in collegiate baseball. They're number 5 in Baseball America, the USA Today, and Perfect Game polls. They stayed number 6 in the D1 baseball poll, and they're number 7 in the National College Baseball Writers Association poll. The press release by South Carolina just uses d1baseball.com, and they have Vanderbilt as number 4. So good weekend for South Carolina, splitting the pair of games that were played against LSU. They'll get USC Upstate again tonight. You can hear it right here on 107.5 The Game. First pitch, 7 o'clock, pregame 6:45. Again, Matthew Becker on the mound. And then we'll get you ready later in the week for Vanderbilt as the Gamecocks head up to Nashville for another top 5 showdown, and should be interesting to see what they look like. Want to remind you, tomorrow, Preston and I will be out at the Capital City Club, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. It is an event sponsored by the Columbia Executive and Owners Association. We'll be talking to members of the association throughout the morning and sharing how you might be able to be involved in Columbia's premier business association. So we look forward to being out and about. More this week. I'll tell you more about where we'll be on Thursday later on here in the program. 803-404-6100, how you can weigh in. The 2000 recruiting class that Preston Thorne was a part of. I like this. I'm going
back. You should see the smile on my face right now.
The smile on your face, the smile on my face, because I came into class, and I remember this is when I initially got into really recruiting. And so this was a name that I always loved. Apopka. Is it Apopka, Florida?
Apopka, Florida.
Apopka, Florida. 6'4", 240-pound defensive end, Ron John Finn.
Oh, Ron John Finn.
And I knew Apopka. That's not in front of me on my notes. That is Ron John Finn.
Ron John Finn was from Apopka, Florida. Also, Warren Sapp was from Apopka, Florida. Ron John Finn was not Warren Sapp. He had the pressure of being Warren Sapp, and we would remind him that how could you be from the same place as Warren Sapp and play the way you play?
Peer pressure got to him.
Ron John Finn, let's just say he enjoyed college, was not much for efforting on much of anything, whether that was classwork, on the field. Great guy, just wasn't for him. But whenever he decided to play, he was really good. But he didn't decide very often.
Decided there were things that were far more important than that. Okay.
Shout out to Ron John.
Let me give you another one real quick as we play this game. Another defensive end. This one I really don't remember, so I'll be interested to hear but a kind of a position mate. Defensive end, 6'2", 215 pounds, Jack Johnson.
Jack Johnson can rap in 3 different languages.
Okay.
He was French. He can rap in French and a little bit of Creole. Very creative guy. Again, football, not so much his thing. He believe he went to Carolina Forest up in Myrtle Beach area. Jack was a great dude, but you can find Jack making music more so than playing football.
There you go. Mm-hmm. I like this. We've stumbled upon an interesting little segment this morning. We were talking with J.C. Shurburtt. in the previous hour about offensive line recruiting. This is how we fell into this offensive line recruiting, what South Carolina's done. And it got me thinking, who were the offensive line recruits that came in with Preston Thorne? And so I had to go back and look it up. A good buddy of his, John Strickland, who went on to be, was John a 3-year starter, 4-year? What did?
I think John might have started for at least 2 years, probably 3, and he was always in the mix for the time that he was there.
He was kind of the member of this 1, 2, 3.
I think he might have been the lone survivor.
I think it's a 4-man group, and then Jonathan Alston got moved over, so it was a 4-man group. So Strick was the one. This is what you said, or what I think J.C. Shurburtt said. If you recruit 5 of them, you hope 3 of them pan out, because you had John Strickland, you had Chad Walker, who didn't make it very far, Nick Johnson, who ended up at Coastal Carolina, and you now have Jason Harris, who didn't last more than.
I told you off air. I think Jason left in the middle of 2 days. Like, he was at practice on Monday morning, and then we looked around and he was gone in the afternoon.
Is it
like stuff taken and everything?
Was it like the old Junction Boys movie where Bear Bryant walks out in the middle of the night, some kids just running into the woods, just running away? Like,
there was no goodbye, there was no announcement to the team. It was like, oh, Jason Stuff's not here anymore. He's gone. Never to be heard from again. Shout out to Jason if you're out there somewhere.
803-404-6100 if you're out there somewhere. Yeah, there you go. We come back. We'll get into a little bit of the spring game. I am interested in how Preston sees structuring this game can help guys, specifically the quarterbacks and the cornerbacks, the secondary, to help us learn a little bit more and help the coaches learn a little bit more. We'll get into that. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, she's Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Got a take?
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
803-404-6100.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
The good old days of going to your local butcher. You knew who he was or who she was. They knew who you were. The second you walked in the door, you were greeted with a friendly greeting. They mentioned you by first name. They knew your family. You knew their family. They knew exactly what cuts of meat you liked. And you know what? While we've grown as a society, keeping that same neighborhood feel with your butcher, it's extremely important. And that's the values that Old Timey Meat Market still want to provide at their shops in Lexington, Irmo, and South Congaree. They want to meet you, they want to know your name, and they want to provide you with the absolute best grades of meat. So go visit them. Again, 3 locations: St. Andrews, South Congaree, and Lexington. The shelves always stocked with various cuts and grades of beef, pork, poultry, seafood, and exotic meat. You've heard me talking about those Italian chicken skewers. Absolutely phenomenal. In the freezer, they've got the incredible chicken salad. I love to get it for a snack in the afternoon, put it on a Tostitos cracker with a little bit of hot sauce. When they make their soups, absolutely delicious. I'm telling you what, they make some of the best homemade soups in town. They have great deals on seafood. I always go there for salmon. I can get oysters there. I have a great deal on oysters. The folks at Old Timey Meat Market, they know me when I walk in. They know what I'm looking for, and they'll do the exact same thing for you. So go visit them at one of the 3 locations: St. Andrews, South Congaree, or Lexington. It's time to break out the grill. It's time to get out back and start grilling and enjoying the spring and the summer, and Old Timey Meat Market is ready to help you. Go visit Old Timey Meat Market. Tell them you heard it here on 107.5 The Game with Bill Gunner.
Hey, Scott here from Traditions Fine Jewelers. When it comes to diamonds, everybody knows that we have the best selection. But did you know that we also have the best prices? How do we do it? In Mine Diamonds, we work directly with the largest cutters, and in lab-grown diamonds, by working directly with the growing laboratories, which allows us to offer you the best quality at the very best price. Like a lab-grown 1-carat diamond for just $999, or a 2-carat for just $2,999. We've even got a beautiful colorless 3-carat diamond for just $4,999. And once you've picked your diamond, we can help you pick exactly the right engagement ring style from our selection of over 1,000 rings, or we can help you design a custom ring that meets your exact specifications. So do your homework and see what diamonds are selling for online, and then come see us. You'll get exactly what you want at the very best price. Only at Traditions Fine Jewelers, 5134 Sunset Boulevard in Lexington, and in Sand Hills, where the Midlands get engaged.
Hi, this is Robbie Butt, president of the Columbia Executives and Owners Association, inviting you to check us out at CEOA.org. The CEOA is your business accelerator. 100 plus members of the business community here in the capital city, referring, building, buying, and working with one another each week to generate millions of dollars in business revenue. The CEOA is business networking to the 10th power. Check us out at CEOA.org.
From local town councils to Capitol Hill, agents who are realtors are standing up for what's right. We're here protecting property rights, here advocating for the issues that affect our neighborhoods, here championing fair and equitable housing for all. Because we are realtors, bound by a code of ethics, driven to serve our communities. We're here for it all, here for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Monster Jam! See the legendary Gravedigger and more tear up the dirt with massive stunts, all-out racing, and crazy skills. It's adrenaline-charged fun for the whole family.
Let's hear it! Make some noise!
Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Colonial Life Arena April 22nd and 23rd. Brought to you by BKT Tires and Great Clips. Visit monsterjam.com today.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's $7,500 sign-on bonuses, increased pay, and great employee benefits available. Start your new year off with a new career. Visit joinscdc.com to apply today or call 803-734-JOBS for more information. Locally owned Atlantic Windows and Doors has been making Columbia area homes more comfortable, attractive, weather-tight, and energy efficient for over 35 years. How? By distributing products from the best window and door manufacturers in the country. These products give you the best looks, the best quality, and the best value, all based on your specific needs. And everything is professionally installed by their dedicated and experienced employees, not subcontractors. Atlantic Windows and Doors. Visit them online at awdsc.com.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
A good Tuesday morning, everyone. It's time for another First Alert traffic check as we look onward today. Only thing I've seen popped up is on I-26 westbound, and this is more of a minor incident. A stalled vehicle at exits 101A, 101B, just causing a little bit of a slowdown there due to where it unfortunately stalled out. As we make the push later into this morning, of course, anything really major or pressing, we'll make sure to keep you updated on. This has been a First Alert traffic update. I'm WIS meteorologist Tony Chivaroli.
What we're talking about on 1075 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
Again, reminder, tomorrow morning we'll be out at the Capital City Club, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. The Columbia Executive and Owners Association. We'll be talking to members of the association and sharing how you can be involved in Columbia's premier business association. So tune in tomorrow morning. Preston and I will be out and about in town. Again, we'll be out and about as well on Thursday, and we'll get you some more information on that leading up to the Party Golf School golf tournament at Golden Hills. Again, you can sign up for that. I'll get you some information. Brad Frick, who joined us yesterday to talk a little bit about their initiatives and what they do, have their golf tournament taking place over at Golden Hills on Thursday. you can contact Brad Frick, 803-673-1851 to be a part of that tournament. So we look forward to being out and about throughout the week. And tomorrow we'll be at the Capital City Club with the Columbia Executive and Owners Association, talking to some members of the association and sharing how you can get involved in Columbia's premier business association. I said we were going to talk about the spring game, and we'll certainly get into that as we go through the week. But Preston and I were just looking up there in the break, and not the good highlight that you want, showed Jackie Bradley Jr. striking out last night. But you and I kind of thought about it. Jackie Bradley Jr. has put together a very nice professional career. I'll give you a second to think about it, and then I'll give you the answer. How long has Jackie Bradley Jr. played? Preston and I were kind of discussing it. There's two answers to this: when he made his minor league debut and then when he made his professional debut. I'll take either answer, 803-404-6100. But Preston, I mean, you think about players from South Carolina that have gone on to have professional careers, like the longevity. Jackie Bradley Jr. is up there. I don't know how you would compare his to, say, like an Anthony Wright. That was a good career.
That's a great comp. A great comp. Somebody that's, it's just a professional. When I say professional, I mean somebody who just packed up his lunch pail and went to work for 10 years in several organizations across their sport. It's an interesting idea of that person that continuously plays for long periods of time.
And that's got to be, he has to have been in 10 years.
Got it. It is 10 years 10 years in Major League Baseball.
Really?
This year. He made his debut with the Red Sox April 1 of 2013. So 10 years this year. Really? 10 years this year. I'm sorry, I'm doing this to myself too. I'm going to make people feel old. He was drafted in the 2011 draft and made his debut for Boston in the minor leagues on August 23rd of 2011. So he's professionally, and he's been in the league for 12 years, be 12 coming up here in August. But it's interesting because, like, John Abraham, who had the really monstrous career, I think we'll put Stephon Gilmore in that group of great. I think we had that discussion one morning when you were talking of great football careers in the NFL for South Carolina players. Anthony Wright, again, is up there, longevity as far as anybody. I don't have in front of me what Deuce Staley's time was, but Deuce's is really good.
Yeah, but I guess it's really interesting because, and I guess Jackie may have peaked. He might have won some Gold Gloves at a certain point. Maybe he had peaked.
He's got a Gold Glove. Okay. His career: 2016 All-Star, 2018 World Champ, 2018 ALCS MVP, and 2018 Gold Glove. So you'd say, if you go on that, the 2016 All-Star, but really peaking more around 2018.
Yeah. So it's just an interesting category of somebody who's never quite didn't have a monster career, but just been a consummate professional throughout that time. I think when you say Deuce definitely had a great spot when he was with the Eagles when they were sort of peaking at that time. Then he finished up with the Steelers. John Abraham had a tremendous career. Some would say he's very close to being a Hall of Famer. The numbers might support that. But there's just like a notch below. Maybe Melvin Ingram falls into this category where you're just going to end up being a guy who plays for a very long time, maybe a little bit underneath the radar as far as how long you actually end up playing.
Those baseball teams, we look back and I think now admire the amount of talent. And I'll give you another player that has gone on to a very good career. Doesn't have the championships that Jackie Bradley does, but Christian Walker is another guy who was drafted in the 2012 draft, so drafted a year after Jackie, would make his actual debut for the Baltimore Orioles in 2014. So he's coming up on 9 years here. But you look back to last night, we saw those 5 women drafted.
Great point.
And you look to some of these baseball players who have gone on and they've had very good from those championship teams, from that run of 2010, 2011, and 2012, I believe, and what they've done. And you see the longevity of some of those Christian. Now you look back to last night. I think there will be a correlation where we'll look back on 3 of these women. I don't know which 3 and see careers that have lasted double-digit years.
Yeah, it always works like that. If you have a great team, there's going to be a lot of talent around. That's just what it's going to be. But what's always interesting is that sometimes they won't be the people who were the most talented or the people who were the biggest producers in college, but they get drafted. Let's say Bree Beal or somebody like that, who happens to be my second most important Gamecock player to put on a uniform. But you can see her even getting drafted in the second round and then having a 10-year career because she has a special skill set, something that she specializes in, something that is needed around the league. You can see that person just sort of holding on, not even holding on, that's not the right word, just being in the league like Jackie Bradley.
Producing.
Yeah, just consistently being around. Hayden Hurst might be somebody.
He just got engaged, and that's sweet.
Congratulations.
It's interesting looking back and tying it in with what happened last night, because here's another name that I forgot from that great baseball era, and certainly we expect Dawn Staley to continue this on, and there's not going to be a fall off. Whit Merrifield,
that's another one,
is 34. Whit's just a little bit older. Christian Walker is 32. I think Jackie is 32. Whit Merrifield's 34. And again, you're talking about a guy that was drafted in the 2010 Major League Baseball draft. It took him a while to get there, though. That's the thing about Merrifield. It took Merrifield several years to get there. He didn't debut for Kansas City until 2016.
Wow.
So you had you had
Okay.
Walker, and you had Walker and Bradley kind of shoot up within a year and a half, 2 years, and you had Merrifield. But I mean, there's a third guy from those championship teams that we talk about, and it makes me feel kind of old now seeing that all three of those guys are in their 30s, because I think I still look up and when I see them play, I go, man, those are young pups. Those are guys just getting into their careers.
Well, they're taking a little bit of a curve. We talk about getting old. Shout out to my guy Justin Bethel, who was a player at Blythewood High School that I coached, who went on to play at Presbyterian College, just recently re-signed again with the Miami Dolphins. So I believe this is year maybe 12. And he carved out a lane in the NFL as a special teams guy, and he sort of just keeps collecting checks and being a consummate professional. And when I look up around, it's like the old wise vet Justin Bethel. I'm like, I remember this kid when he was in junior in high school. So yeah, shout out to getting old.
803-404-6100. Somebody hits us up with Michael Roth, and nothing against Michael, but I was kind of just looking at guys who have had sustained
that's the word, sustained
professional careers. A couple people hit us up. Jonathan Joseph was another good one.
J-Joe was just like, I'm just going to camp out here in the NFL for a long time.
Just make plays and do our thing. 803-404-6100. Let me give you a cornerback, 5'9", 170.
Rasheem Monroe.
My
guy, Rasheem the Dream Monroe, man. Hanahan, South Carolina, defensive back. Really good. Started his freshman year. He was on pace to be a starter. He ended up getting hurt, and he ended up transferring after his junior year.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but after his freshman, he was one of the few of us who actually played his freshman year. He was sort of like a nickelback. And think about this. He was a nickelback amongst Andre Goodman, Sheldon Brown, Kevin Houston. So he was in that squad of guys who played very, very early. Rasheem used to get upset with us because he had to go play while all the rest of us red shirts got to stay home and, participate in red shirt things. And he had to actually be serious and go play.
803-404-6100, a game that Preston Thorne has begun to love.
I love this game.
Reliving his 2000 recruiting class. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, she's Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Missed any of the early game?
You can catch up by going to the early game on demand page at 1075thegame.com.
Or by downloading our 107.5 The Game app on iTunes or Google Play.
Keeping a nice, clean home, especially during the spring when it's rainy, when it's muddy, when there's all kinds of stuff out there and it's really bothering your family, it can be a little difficult. I'm not going to lie about that. So you need Zero Res with their patented ZR water technology that is scientifically proven to keep your carpet, your rugs, your upholstery, your towel, all cleaner longer. That's right. It'll keep everything insanely clean. So don't wait any longer. Contact Zero Res today, 803-262-4020. You can schedule online. Zero Res Columbia Gamecocks.com is how you can get in touch with them. Take advantage of their spring cleaning sale. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $119 when you mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game. Don't wait any longer. Give them a phone call today, 803-262-4020. Or again, schedule with ease online, ZeroResColumbia.com. You'll be impressed that the ZeroRes ZR water technology does not leave behind any sticky, soapy residue. It'll make sure your carpets look beautiful. The kids can roll around on it, the dogs, the cats, all the pets. If you got a hamster, the hamster can run around, be perfectly fine. So contact ZeroRes today, 803-262-4020, or schedule online, ZeroResColumbia.com. ZeroRes, spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
Sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell is sorry for going too far with its past breakfast. All you need in the morning is tasty, simple food, like a breakfast crunch wrap, fluffy eggs, cheese, sausage, hash browns wrapped in a warm tortilla. Grab one at participating Taco Bell stores during breakfast hours only until 11 a.m. while supplies last.
Hi, everybody. This is Woody Wyndham here to talk about Pioneer Tree Service. Guy Gant's not with us anymore, but his girls are. Madison Gant just walked in. How you doing?
Doing great, Woody. How are you?
Good. Madison, I see your trucks everywhere for Pioneer Tree Service. Tell us some of the people you work with.
We've been very busy with residential and commercial customers.
So, Madison, you're doing the State House, Midlands Tech, City of Columbia, University of South Carolina. So you're going to want to call somebody you can trust, and that is the Gant girls at Pioneer Tree Service. And now there's a new little Gant girl, Dawson. We got all the Gant girls in the room.
We do tree removal, stump removal, tree pruning, tree trimming, tree thinning, tree cabling, and we will raise your tree canopy.
And no matter where you live, the Gant girls can get there. So, hey, Gant girls, how do they get in touch with you?
Call us today for a free estimate at 803-794-8253 or check us out online at pioneertreesc.com.
That's the sound of the Doorbuster pricing event going on now at Galliana Kia on Greystone. Galliana Kia on Greystone is making deals so good, they're breaking down the doors. 2023 Kia Forte LXS, lease for just $199 per month. 2023 Kia Sorento LX, lease for just $299 per month. Upgrade to a new Kia today. We'll get you out of your current loan or lease, even if you're over mileage, have months left, or still owe thousands. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. If you got a job and you make at least $2,000 per month, our lenders can get you approved. Don't miss these doorbuster deals. New Kias for $199 per month. Gotta go to Galliana. The sooner you come, the more you save at Galliana Kia on Greystone. I-126 Zoo exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or KiaColumbia.com. Sorrento stock number K3699. Forte stock number 3K1548. 24-month leases, 10,000 miles per year. $39.99 to its signing plus tax tag includes $225 closing fee. No security deposit. Negative trade equity financed in new loan subject to lender approval. Expires month end.
Soar into a celebration 50 years in the making at Carowinds this season with the launch of Aeronautica Landing, a brand new immersive area that captures the excitement and adventure of aviation and the Carolinas' ties to its past, present, and future. Take off with 5 new rides, gaming area, and aviation-themed food and drink. Or experience a firework and drone show like you've never seen at our nighttime spectacular.
Right now, get tickets for just $39.99 at Carowinds.com. Carowinds, for the fun of it.
When your business information is missing or inconsistent across the internet, search engines won't find you, and customers won't either. Help ensure customers see you and not your competitors. Boost your findability. CumulusBoost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
I-26 eastbound right there at Malfunction Junction, I-20. We do have a report of an accident there, and seeing that there is an object on the roadway to keep an eye out for I-20 westbound at Two Notch Road. 74 is going to be our high today, 79 tomorrow, 80 on Thursday right now, 47 at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
on on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
803-404-6100, how you can weigh in this morning, to which some of you are doing. And I brought up Anthony Wright, so I'll take the blame for this. But Justin Smoke, some of y'all have mentioned him. Smoke had basically an 11-year Major League Baseball career. Made his debut for the Rangers on April 23rd of 2010. Not sure when his final game was. He last played for the San Francisco Giants in 2020. And then went over to Japan for a year. A couple people hitting us up with Sheldon Brown, who obviously went on to a very good career as well. So 803-404-6100. We'll save some of these names for later just to continue to throw at you. But I want to just go back to this recruiting class I was looking at, because it's fun to take a trip down memory lane. And remember, I got 2 linebackers for you. I think both. I know exactly where one of them is from. Or maybe I don't. But I've got 2 linebackers that would go on to have very good careers, would be kind of staples back behind you. Brian Brownlee, outside linebacker, 6'3", 220 pounds. Jeremiah Garrison. And I think it was Garrison who had the big interception late in the Georgia game.
Yes, sir.
In 2001 in the win over there, 6'1", 205. So you got Jeremiah Garrison and Brian Brownlee.
Let's start at the top. Brian Brownlee, most likely to take his shirt off anytime, anywhere, any place. Chiseled out of granite, and he was not afraid to let anybody see that. Jeremiah also was not afraid to tell you how good he was.
Okay.
And we would never deny you the opportunity to know that how good Jeremiah was. Jeremiah's one of my best friends. And whenever you wanted to make fun of Jeremiah, you could just say he looked like Apollo Creed. And which when I see Apollo Creed on the tee, I'm like, that's nothing to look fun of. That's aspirational. But so shout out to Jeremiah Apollo Creed, my guy.
Garrison from Belton, BHP, and was reading, this is according to Hale McGranahan of thebigspur.com. BHP has got a running back. I was looking for his name very quickly here, but BHP has got a running back that some are considering one of the top running backs in the state for this coming season. He is actually taking a visit to South Carolina today. Does not have an offer, but his name is Marquise Henderson. Is listed as a 5'11", 165-pound running back in the next class. So he's a rising junior, but incredible speed. I've watched some of his highlights. Marquise Henderson actually already has offers from Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech, our early own. He will take a visit to South Carolina today and check out the program. I like that somebody watched this film in the little clip, in the little thing that said, you'll like this. Says the guy could be a Matthew Thomas type slot receiver with that kind of speed moves. Yeah, it's a radio program. People can't see that face.
But yeah, Jeremiah was ahead of his time, I think, as a linebacker, because if you say his frame again.
It's listed here as a recruit, 6'1", 205 pounds.
Yeah, so he was sort of undersized at the time, but I think if he was playing in today's game, he would be a perfect linebacker to be able to cover and play the run. Probably missed his time when he should have been playing linebacker for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll talk more about this as we go through the week. We will get into that, the conversation I want to have about how Preston thinks they should structure the spring game to maybe get the most out of it. Maybe not even for the fans, but just for the most of.
I like this conversation
of learning. We'll get into that a little bit tomorrow morning, and we'll continue the game of walking Preston down memory lane.
Great game, Bill.
For some of the recruits he came in with and what he was, because you talk about it, Pup Howard, who we'll see this weekend, 6'3", 6'4", 240-pound linebacker. That's the old school, as they'd say, thumpers in there. Everybody's a little bit smaller and can run and cover now. So I'd say we did pretty good, despite me being right on time.
It seems like it was so long ago, Bill. Look where we've come since then.
We have wrapped up really well. We will be out at the Capital City Club in the morning, hanging out with the Columbia Executive and Owners Association, eating some breakfast, talking with members of the association.
I'll be here. Don't worry.
Jen will be here. Don't you worry. We'll all
I'll
be
have my water.
She'll have her water and her egg, olive, and cheese sandwich. See you tomorrow.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Gamecock quarterback Spencer Rattler, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game, the home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
Big Gamecock Weekend presented by Palmetto Sugar.
April 14th through 16th for a weekend full of Gamecock activities, highlighted by the Cocky Truck.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We will see you tomorrow. Later. Well.